It's been 2 weeks since the Hurricanes last came onto the field, a bye week following a 26-14 loss to Florida State, a loss which dropped Miami's record to 3-2 on the season. The Mountaineers opened with a loss against #1 ranked Ohio State. Since then, West Virginia has piled up 4 straight victories and moved into the top 20. Their star player coming back off a thigh bruise which caused him to miss the Temple game, running back Amos Zeraway out of Hempstead, New York. He is a rare combination of speed and power. And if the Hurricanes are going to win this game today, they're going to have to stop Zeraway. Last year, Amos ran wild in the Orange Bowl, 206 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's the Mountaineers and the Hurricanes coming up next on Sports Channel. From Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, West Virginia, Sports Channel presents Miami Hurricane football. Today, the Hurricanes take on the Mountaineers of West Virginia. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Fort. I'll be calling the play-by-play. My partner, as always, is John Congemi. John, some very compelling stories personnel-wise today. #1, West Virginia gets back in the lineup. Their All-American candidate running back, Amos Zeraway.
Frank, it all starts for West Virginia in the backfield. Number 20, Amos Zeraway, the All-American running back, does a great job. If he has any type of daylight, he will take it the distance. 7 touchdowns on the season. He's back after 2 weeks, well rested from that thigh bruise. Now, one of the records that he holds for West Virginia, 15 times he's gone over 100 yards, and last year he was a killer for the Canes defense. He ducked behind that offensive line and made the Hurricanes pay on defense. If he does that again today, Miami's defense might come up short.
Yeah, 206 yards last year, and he does run behind a very veteran offensive line. Defensively, their outstanding player Gary Stills is back. He's only played 1 game this season. That was against Ohio State, had a dislocated kneecap. This will be his first game back.
He is back. We saw him in pregame warm-up, moving around very well, excited about getting back. He was injured in that opener, but he had 7 total tackles, 2 sacks. He led a lot of damage before he was out of the game. Now, he adds a very great dimension for West Virginia. He has the size to go in a 3-point stance and defend against the run, but he also has the speed to go sideline to sideline at that stand-up linebacker position. A very tough role to block and really know where he's at for that Miami offensive line.
Plays what West Virginia calls the rush linebacker position. Now for the Hurricanes defensively, they are going with an extremely young secondary. Leonard Myers had arthroscopic surgery on his knee, their best cover corner, so he's out. Mike Rumpf is in, and that makes that a very young secondary going against Mark Bulger, the West Virginia quarterback.
The quarterback may be licking his chops today because he's very competent throwing the football, has a very high percentage, well over 65% throwing the football. You see there 12 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. He likes to go to his 3 wide receivers, Ivy, Saunders, and Foreman. Now those guys have experience, but they're going against 3 freshmen and 1 sophomore. You see Rump and Fitzgerald on the corner. Brown and Reed will be the safeties and strong safeties. Now you may see Brown switch back to cornerback, but that might be a big test for that defensive secondary. Can they stop a potential high-scoring threat with the Mountaineers through the air?
And Al Blade's the only sophomore in that group, and this is really his first year playing. He sat out last year with a knee injury. The big play guy so far this year for the University of Miami, Santana Moss, the diminutive receiver out of Carroll City High School. He's got 7 touchdowns, and he's a threat anytime he has his hands on the ball.
He's only touched the ball 16 times, Frank, and as you said, 7 times he's found the end zone. A 71-yarder against Rutgers. He had a nice TD reception against Cincinnati. He can make things happen on the outside because of his route running ability. He's very crisp, and he gets in and out of the routes, especially going to the outside. He can find the football, and Scott Covington will have to look for him to provide big plays for this Miami offense.
He's the guy that stretches the defense, and then Reggie Wayne catches him underneath. Should be an interesting game today. It's Miami at West Virginia. We'll have the opening kickoff from Mountaineer Field right after this. University of Miami football on Sports Channel is being brought to you in part by Bell South and its international family of customers. By Grand Prize Chevrolet Oldsmobile, located in Miami, where Jimmy Johnson does business. By Office Depot, business is crazy, but Office Depot makes sense. By Citgo, depend on Citgo when it counts. By Hoover, nobody gets the dirt like Hoover, nobody. And by Mazda, come see what happens when a car company has more engineers and fewer accountants. At Morgantown, West Virginia, the 13th ranked Mountaineers going against the Miami Hurricanes. Miami won the toss and deferred to the second half. West Virginia will receive to open the game. Todd Sievers, number 16, will kick it off for the Hurricanes. Back deep to receive, For the Mountaineers, to the left part of your screen is Antonio Brown and Jerry Porter, number 2, toward the top part of the screen. Todd Sievers, the freshman from Iowa, kicks it off, and we're underway at Mountaineer Field. That's Porter at the 12. Porter gets away from one, gets out of Nate Brooks, still on his feet, and finally swarmed under at the 28-yard line by the Hurricane special teams. A return of 16 yards. Chevin Marshall, Jeff Popovich there for the Hurricane special teams, and West Virginia will snap it 1st and 10 from their 28. The quarterback is Mark Bulger, the junior, 6'3", 210, out of Pittsburgh Central Catholic High School, same high school as Dan Marino. And a look at the Mountaineer offense, which has done very well in the last 4 games. 42 against Maryland, 44 against Tulsa, 45 against Navy, and 37 against Temple. So they've been putting up good numbers, John.
They can score on offense, but it's all the trigger man right there, and the guy behind him, number 20, Zeraway.
West Virginia starts in the 3 wide receiver set. Zeraway has the football and will get about 3 as a flag goes down. And it looks like they're going to get the center, Eric DeGrow, for holding Dan Morgan on the tackle. The flag flying right at the feet of Eric DeGrow as he was trying to keep Damian Lewis out of the play. John, West Virginia, about 60% of the time, will go in what Miami calls a diamond. That is 3 wide receivers. As the official signals time, there is a West Virginia player down at the 33-yard line.
Looked like Brock Holland, number 69, the right tackle for the Mountaineers. He was laying still for about 5 seconds before anyone got out to the playing field.
Let's take another look at the play. Holland lined up toward the bottom of your screen, number 69, blocking on Quincy Hips.
The right tackle coming down on Quincy Hips. You see him right there pushing through. It looked like he got his left ankle or left knee caught underneath the left guard. His own teammate really pinned him underneath there, and it looked very painful.
This is a veteran offensive line for West Virginia. Eric DeGrow, a 3-year starter, a senior. And it is a holding call against West Virginia. Tanner Russell, number 79, will come into the game to replace Brock Holland as you look at Mark Bulger, the West Virginia quarterback. Let's take a look at the rest of the Mountaineer offense. The running backs, Zeraway and Anthony Green is the fullback. Green does not get a lot of touches, only 9 carries this year. David Saunders, their leading receiver, 29 catches. He is a very good one. And the offensive line, as I said, a veteran unit. And DeGrow and Pukinas, both very intelligent young men. Both have applied to medical school. One is a grad student, one in his senior year academically. As they are still working on Brock Holland. And we'll take another glance at just how this injury occurred, but it appeared that on the double team block, as you said, that Brian Pukinas accidentally rolled into his teammate.
Yeah, he was just drive blocking down. Right there, you say Zeraway's head, you could see the left ankle and left knee of Holland get trapped underneath Pukinas, number 61, the guard. They were doing a nice job of drive blocking Quincy Hips down the line of scrimmage, and you see now he's up on his feet walking very gingerly towards that Mountaineer sideline.
Brock Holland, 6'5", 300-pound senior from Bangor, Pennsylvania. And the penalty will take West Virginia back to the 17-yard line.
Frank, they don't lose that much size with Holland going out of the game. He's 6'5", 300 pounds, and Tanner Russell, he's only 6'7", 305. He's a sophomore, so they may gain a few pounds.
From Princeton, West Virginia. So after the holding call, the ball now at the 17-yard line. And that brings up a 1st and 22. The penalty marked off from the spot of the foul, which happened 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Again, the 3 wide out set for West Virginia. With the no tight end, Green set in front of Zeraway in the backfield. Quincy Hips moved. Zeraway with the pitch. And Zeraway has some room. Amos Zeraway tripped up as he crossed the 30-yard line. Penalty flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Delvin Brown made the saving tackle for Miami, but Zeraway got back the penalty yardage and about 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, it looked like a Miami defender in the neutral zone jumping before the ball was snapped. The Mountaineers will decline that. A big gain by Zeraway.
Offside. Defense. Penalties decline. Second down.
West Virginia will take the result of the play, which was a 16-yard gain.
Frank, Bulger comes up, bottom left of your screen. You see number 90, Quincy Hips, gets him in the neutral zone, and then it's all Zeraway in that offensive line of the Mountaineers. They get a hat on a hat, and a great cut back to the inside by Zeraway here. If he keeps his feet and gets by Delvin Brown, he may go the distance. But, Frank, they're calling an audible at the line of scrimmage just to check with me. They want to spread Miami out and make more room for the running back, Zeraway.
2nd and 6 for the Mountaineers. Ball at their 33. Again, they go with the triple receiver and 1 running back. And again, it's Zeraway with some room to the 40 and to the 41-yard line. First down for West Virginia. Nate Webster in on the tackle for Miami. Let's take a look at the Hurricane defense. Derek Ham leads Miami in sacks with 5, but they're going to have to figure out a way to put pressure on Bulger today. He is a very effective passer. Nate Webster, the middle linebacker, second on the team in tackles. He'll be under the gun today with Zeroay running the football. And in the secondary, the young group, Mike Rumpf, the true freshman out of Delray Beach, makes his second start of the season, replacing the injured Leonard Myers. Butch Davis trying to figure out a way to beat West Virginia, as happened 2 years ago, the miracle in Morgantown, on the block punt in the final minute of the game. 1st and 10 Mountaineers from their 41. Bulger, quick drop, throws complete at the 40 to Saunders, and Saunders across midfield into Miami territory, and he will have first down yardage. Mike Rumpf making the tackle along with Edward Reed for the Hurricanes. But a nicely designed play, John, out of that triple wide receiver formation.
That's great communications by receiver and quarterback. They saw Miami drop off, and there was a soft coverage on the inside receiver, Saunders. He gives a hand motion to his quarterback. The quarterback gives one back to him, and they just throw the football outside on the soft cushion. He was the soft receiver. They get him the football, and the Mountaineers are on the attack.
Gain of 14 and a first down on the pass completion to Saunders. Again, no tight end in for West Virginia. Zeroay on the delay across the 45, still on his feet, and gets to the Miami 40. Derek Ham making the tackle, but a gain of 5 on first down. Al Blades complaining to the officials about a holding call, but he's not going to find a sympathetic ear there.
If you're looking at the Miami defense right now, a lot of arm tackles. Damian Lewis tries to get in the backfield. He was deep enough to pin Zeroay for a loss. He runs through that arm tackle, and you see there Al Blades on defense comes up with the stop, but there's a lot of arm tackling going on, and Zeroay can break that. You can't leave your feet when you're playing a guy like Zeroay who can cut and move that fast.
Zeroay 5'10", but a rock-solid 200 pounds, and believe me, this kid is put together. 2nd and 5, Zeroay again, spins away from one in the backfield, and then Nate Webster will make the tackle. Quincy Hips had a shot at him in the backfield, but Zeroay managed to get a yard out of the play.
That was a great job by Quincy Hips. You see, Brock Holland was out, he's hurt, Tanner Russell comes in, and Quincy Hips beats him to the point of attack. Right here in the backfield, has a chance, loses his balance, but then the rest of the Hurricanes there, you see 52, Nate Webster, number 44, Dan Morgan in on the stop, but Quincy Hips, a nice job anticipating the snap count. He beat the tackle to the point of attack.
Now, don't worry, Quincy, Zeroay does that to a lot of guys.
So you're in a long line, Quincy.
He's got something you can't teach. 3rd and 4 for West Virginia at the Hurricane 39. Saunders in motion. Bulger looking to throw over the middle, complete to Corey Ivy, and that is a first down at the Miami 31. Marquise Fitzgerald on the coverage. You saw the pocket open up, and Bulger had a nice passing lane.
Great patience for Bulger. He wanted to go to his right side. He had press man-to-man on the outside with Saunders. He goes to his second receiver coming over the middle of the football field. That was a nice decision and nice patience shown. He finds Alvin Swoop over the middle. Or sorry, Corey Ivy over the middle. You see his season stats, 16 receptions, 269 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Corey Ivy out of Boca Raton Community High School, one of 20 Florida natives on this West Virginia team. On first down, triple wide receiver and the I formation. The fake to Zeroay. On the out pattern, complete to Saunders, and that picks up nearly 9 yards. Marquise Fitzgerald had the coverage at the Miami 23.
Nice throw again by your quarterback, Mark Bulger. He's the junior. He controls the football in a great location to David Saunders on the outside. Just a dropout route. He faked the play action. He comes back to the short side of the field, and as soon as the ball's let go, Saunders breaks off of his route, drops out to the outside, and it's a nice pitch and catch.
Pickup of nearly 8. Call it 2nd and 1. The ball just outside Miami's 23-yard line. Again, Zeroay, the lone running back. And he has the football. And this time he is buried in the backfield. Nate Webster, rather make it like Michael Smith. Yeah, it was Nate Webster. My fault. Nate Webster, number 52, coming through to make the tackle for the loss as he just shot the gap, and it was a 2-yard loss on the play.
The center for the Mountaineers, Eric DeGros, trying to get on the middle linebacker, Nate Webster, and just can't do it. He has too much speed, and he reads the play, gets into the backfield, and finally, someone from Miami does not leave their feet, and they form tackle. They square up and drive tackle really Zeroay back towards his own goal line.
4th tackle for loss this season by Nate Webster. 3rd and 4 for the Mountaineers. Saunders in motion. Bulger to throw. Blitz is on. Bulger drops it off underneath to David Saunders at the 20-yard line. And David Saunders inside the Miami 20. That'll be a first down as Webster came in on the tackle. But Bulger, with the pocket collapsing, calmly picked out David Saunders.
Give credit to that offensive line. They kept the pocket alive. Mark Bulger was able to step up into the pocket and buy time. That's what you have to do. Watch the offensive line just form the pocket, and Bulger can come back. Now step up, creep up into the pocket, and deliver. Just a little flip to Saunders coming across. That's a big play for the Mountaineers, and Miami on defense, they have to come up with a stop to that. The defensive secondary did a good job in covering downfield.
You saw Damian Lewis dropping off in the zone blitz, the defensive tackle, on 1st and 10 from the 19. The fake to zero-way. Wide open is Sean Foreman at the 10, inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Mike Rumpf on the tackle, and that is close to first down yardage.
Yeah, Mike Rumpf really dropped 15 or 20 yards back, and he had the short flat. He can't get that deep on these Mountaineer receivers. They are talented, but you have to give them respect, but you have to challenge them as well. Make Bulger throw the football on target. That time, a wide open receiver, and the Mountaineers are just moving the football down the field against this Miami defense.
Drive started at the Mountaineer 28. They are now inside the Miami 9-yard line with a 1st and goal. 9 minutes, 40 seconds left to go first quarter. Frank Forts, John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. West Virginia again showing the triple wide receiver formation. Becht, the tight end, set to the right of the formation. Zero-way, the lone running back.
They're going to run the ball. They're going to spread Miami out, Frank.
Zero-way. Hit by Al Blades at the line of scrimmage, and no gain. Al Blades, who is a sophomore coming off that major knee injury last year, has earned the starting position away from Delvin Brown, and he is extremely good in run support.
A very tough and aggressive Al Blades. He's a big kid, 6'2", 195, a sophomore. He has 27 total tackles, 1 interception against Rutgers for a touchdown. His hometown, Plantation, Florida. Of course, the brother of Benny Blades and Brian Blades, really the 3rd Blades brother to score a touchdown for Miami.
That is correct. Again, 2nd and goal after no gain on first down. Saunders in motion. Zero-way with the football, has a hole. Zero-way to the 5. And Damian Lewis in on the tackle along with Dan Morgan for the Hurricanes, and Edward Reed helping out from the safety spot. Gain of 4 will bring up 3rd and goal from just outside the 5-yard line.
Frank, even though the Mountaineers have been very dominant in their opening drive, if Miami can hold them to a field goal opportunity, they have to feel like that's a victory. The Mountaineers taking the ball all the way from their 28-yard line, I believe, where the drive started. Now they're at the knocking on the door at the 5-yard line. They have to find a way to stop the Mountaineers and keep them out of the end zone on this play.
Again, 3 wide receivers for the Mountaineers. 3rd and goal from the 5. That's Saunders in motion, making a triple wide receiver. The fake to zero-way and the rollout. Bulger to the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Saunders. David Saunders cutting back against the grain, and Bulger getting outside the rush on the rollout. A well-designed play, and then throwing back against the grain.
Bulger had 3 options on the play, Frank. First, he thought he was going to run the football. He's really putting pressure on the corner by holding the football as long as he did. He had Corey Ivy wide open in the end zone, but elected to go back to the inside. David Saunders, that's his 4th touchdown reception on the season, and 13th touchdown for Mark Bulger.
Jay Taylor on to attempt the extra point, as West Virginia grabs the lead with 8 minutes and 3 seconds to go here in the first quarter at Mountaineer Field. There's the kick by Taylor. It is up and it is good. So with 8:03 left to go first quarter, West Virginia draws first blood, scoring on their opening drive, a 5-yard pass from Mark Bulger to David Saunders.
Watch Bulger, his patience on the corner. The longer he holds the football, the more pressure he puts on the secondary, whether they have to come up and anticipate the run or stay back in coverage. A great throw. He leads him to open space. Bulger to David Saunders for the score.
The touchdown coming on West Virginia's opening drive. 8:03 to go first quarter. It's the Mountaineers 7, the Hurricanes nothing. We'll be right back on Sports Channel. Back at Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mountaineers with a 13-play, 71-yard drive to open the game, consuming 6 minutes and 57 seconds, and they have a 7-0 lead. John Olliger will kick it off, and Najee Davenport and James Jackson back to receive for the Hurricanes. This is heading towards Jackson at the 5. James Jackson still on his feet, bounced off a tackle and gets up to the 24-yard line, where Miami will start 1st and 10. Kyle Caden, number 45, backup middle linebacker, in on the tackle. And the Canes will start 1st and 10 at their 24. The quarterback is Scott Covington, hitting 58% of his passes this season, and you see an excellent touchdown to interception ratio of 12 to 1. And, John, that's going to be important today. You got to stay away from the turnovers against this West Virginia defense.
And it's going to be very important for that offensive line to protect and give Scott Covington enough time to throw the football down the field. As you see, the Mountaineers, they can be very dominating, keeping it away from the Miami offense. So Miami's going to have to answer with a drive of their own to start in their first series.
There is timeout on the field with 7 minutes and 54 seconds left to go in the first quarter. It'll be Miami's football from their own 25 when we return. It's West Virginia 7, Miami nothing. Butch Davis's team trailing after just one possession as Mark Bulger has thrown a touchdown pass for the 8th consecutive game for the West Virginia Mountaineers. A drive that covered 71 yards. In actuality, it covered 83. Officially it's 71, but they had a holding penalty on the first play, which put it back to the 17, so they did cover 83 yards. First play for Miami, pitch to Edgerrin James. James across the 30 and to the 31 or 2-yard line, where number 2, Jerry Porter, the safety, made the tackle. Edgerrin James, the junior out of Immokalee, Florida, Miami's leading rusher, 415 yards and 4 touchdowns. Wide receiver Reggie Wayne, 25 catches. He also has 4 touchdowns for Miami. And the offensive line, Joaquin Gonzalez, the freshman, will be tested today against these West Virginia defensive ends, Gary Stills and Kevin Landolt. The gain up to the 33, so a nice pickup of 7 on first down for Edgerrin James. On 2nd and 3, James once again behind Mercier and Williams block, and he should have a first down, flag down, as James got up across the 38-yard line. Barrett Green making the tackle, and you see Edgerrin lost the helmet. He should have first down yardage. So 2 good running plays to start for the Hurricanes. And indeed, West Virginia, John, has given up a lot of rushing yardage. You see the personal foul face mask, and that'll tack on 15 yards.
A vicious tackle by a Mountaineer defender, a face mask, blatant face mask on the sidelines. Nice patience by James, but there you see right here coming in your the secondary.
Whoa. Barrett Green,
the
33.
linebacker, the weak side linebacker, just a bad play, reaching out and grabbing the face mask, really turning the helmet off of the head of Edgerrin James. That's a blatant personal foul.
Barrett Green, who has twice as many tackles as any West Virginia defender, but that play almost taking James' head off, so the penalty puts it at the West Virginia 45-yard line, where Miami will have a 1st and 10. Pitch to James, trying to turn the corner. Got away from a couple of tacklers. Edgerrin still on his feet, finally shoved out of bounds at the 33 by Charles Fisher, make it the 34-yard line, but he should have a first down. John, it didn't look like that play was developing much. We'll get to that in a second as we look at the West Virginia defense. John Thornton, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses, the senior out of Philadelphia. Barrett Green out of West Palm Beach, 70 tackles, twice as many as any other Mountaineer defender. And Gary Tompkins, another South Florida kid, the strong safety with 25 tackles this year, 1 interception and 1 fumble recovery. It was a pickup of 11. It's 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line as Miami tries to answer West Virginia's opening scoring drive. Santana Moss in motion. Covington's first pass, swings it out to James. Gets a good block from Neely. James still on his feet. James still going. And Edgerrin finally down at the 11-yard line as Edgerrin James refused to go down.
This is the Edgerrin James that we're used to seeing 2 weeks ago, or last week out against Florida State. Just didn't play well. Thought he was a little lethargic in the football game, Frank. Today you see him, he's electrifying and using his speed. Right now, man-to-man on a linebacker. Covington sees the linebacker doesn't expand quick enough. He gets the football behind a block from Ty Wise. Edgerrin James just breaking tackles into the secondary of the Mountaineers, and Miami's knocking on the door at the Mountaineer 10-yard line.
At the 10, inside pitch to James, but Gary Stills beat the block and made the tackle for a loss of almost 3. Miami can get a first down inside the 1-yard line, but not a positive play on first down as Gary Stills making his first start since the season opener, where he suffered a dislocated kneecap.
Well, take a look. The right tackle and the fullback, Nick Williams, really not doing their job on the outside. The couple plays before, Nick Williams had him at a stalemate, really won the battle. That time, you see the dominant play of Gary Stills.
His 2nd tackle for a loss, and it's 2nd and 10 for Miami. 2nd and 12, excuse me. Covington to his fullback Williams to the 5, and dumped by Scooter Davis as they'll mark it at the 5-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 5 for Miami. They can again get a first down about a half-yard away from the goal line.
I like the play call on 2nd down. Use your fullback and your tight end. He had an option, could have stuck it in a little bit deeper or closer to the goal line in choosing the tight end. Scott makes the wise choice, gets it to his fullback. Now Miami, they've only scored 1 time out of 5 games on their opening drive. They need to get it in and make this a 7-7 ball game.
See the time remaining in the first quarter, 6:19. Miami with 3 wide receivers and James the only running back. Andre King in motion. Blitz coming. Covington's pass incomplete as King stumbled coming out of the route, but he wouldn't have had enough for a first down anyway.
No, you'd like to take a shot in the end zone if you're going to throw the football. That time, as you said, Frank, it was a little squirrel route where King's going to come inside and then try to work himself back to the front pylon for a touchdown. He never had his balance, and it looked like it was into the sun anyway. Couldn't get a hand on it, and it falls incomplete.
Andy Crossland in to attempt the field goal out of the hold of Jeff Popovich. It'll come from 23 yards away. Crossland not very active this year, only 4 attempts. He's made 2. Snap is good, ball placed down. Crossland's kick is up and good. And with 6 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in the first quarter, Miami gets on the board. It's West Virginia 7 and Miami 3. We'll be right back on Sports Channel from Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, West Virginia, where the Mountaineers lead it 7-3. For the Butch Davis Show, the Canes leader will show you all the hard-hitting Miami highlights and preview the upcoming opponent. It's all right here on Sports Channel Florida, the Butch Davis Show, hosted by...
Of course, Frank Ford.
I know him.
Yeah.
6 minutes, 13 seconds left to go first quarter. West Virginia with a 7-3 lead. John, we were talking about that last Miami play before the field goal where it's 3rd and basically goal. You can get a first down inside the 1 from the 5-yard line. And Andre King basically runs a 3-yard pattern. But what you're saying is Scott really made the wrong read.
Well, it's a combination of things. You really got to you have to try to get the football into the end zone and try to get it back to your tight end. It's a high-low read, and you got to try to get the football to the back of the end zone. That yard, even if it's the pass, if it's complete, does you no good.
Todd Severs will kick it off for Miami. Antonio Brown and Jerry Porter back to receive for West Virginia. So the Canes do respond and get on the scoreboard, but they do not get the touchdown. Severs' kick coming down to Porter at the 6. Porter tries to hurdle a pile, upended by James Lewis, number 23, and then Chris Campbell finished him off. West Virginia will start 1st and 10 at their 22-yard line. Mark Bulger outstanding on the first series as he took West Virginia in for a touchdown. He hit all 6 of his passes, I believe 6 out of 6 for Bulger for 52 yards on that opening possession. As you look at the junior out of Pittsburgh Central Catholic High School, good size, 6'3", 210.
Frank, let's see if the Miami defense has an answer for West Virginia. Everything that West Virginia did, they guessed right on their opening possession. Every formation, every play call, and Bulger was really responsible for that. A lot of plays called at the line of scrimmage in either or situation. Let's see how Miami responds.
From the 22, Zerouay, the lone running back. Saunders in motion. Zerouay with a bit of a hole, gets out to the 26-yard line. Tripped up by Matt Sweeney and Edward Reed. Pick up a 4 on first down. Look at Zerouay's stats on the year coming into the game. 90 rushes, 521 yards, and a 5.5 average, 7 touchdowns, also had 12 receptions, and averages 10 yards per catch.
What I like about him is his quickness and his toughness. He's very tough. He's only 5'10", 200 pounds, but he's a very tight package. He can make you miss in tight situations.
Already 8 carries for 34 yards. On the counter play, Zerouay. Dan Morgan messed up the blocking scheme, and then Nate Webster and Edward Reed came in there to make the tackle and hold it basically to a loss of 2 yards.
Frank, just as we said, West Virginia guessed right on their opening possession. The first 2 plays of this possession, the Miami defense, they're gambling. They're bringing pressure with their linebackers and their defensive backs. You see Dan Morgan, he takes on the tackler, the tackle Tannen Russell. He doesn't wait to be blocked. He's making it happen in the backfield, and he's the reason why the rest of that Miami defense were in the right spot to make the tackle.
3rd and 8 for the Mountaineers. Ball just outside their 23-yard line. 4 wide receivers in the game now for West Virginia. Out of the shotgun, Bulger with time, and this is the problem for Miami. Pass complete to Saunders. Saunders has a first down up to the 37-yard line. Delvin Brown making the tackle. Well, that's the problem Miami's got. Against the 4 wide receiver set, you pretty much have to generate a pass rush with your front 4, and they haven't been able to do that with any consistency this season.
Watch the left of your screen if you can see it. Number 52, Nate Webster. He's in coverage against one of the best receivers in the Big East Conference, David Saunders. Now, Saunders gets away with a little bit of a push-off. You'll see Saunders to the inside receiver. Watch him push off on number 52 right here. He makes separation. You don't see it. The official had his back turned. That's a first down for the Mountaineers and a smart play by a wide receiver.
Pick up a 14. Antonio Brown now in the game at wide receiver for West Virginia. Fake to Zerouay and going deep for Antonio Brown and overthrows him at the Miami 30. Marquise Fitzgerald in on the coverage. Antonio Brown, one of those South Florida kids out of Miami Central High School, about 5'10", 170, but he is a burner.
Has a lot of speed on the outside, and Bulger had the football right where he wanted to put it, just put a little bit too much on it. But watch the coverage. Fitzgerald, the freshman, on the outside, in good position. But there you see the speed of Antonio Brown. He just separates, and he can't catch up to the overthrown pass.
First incompletion for Bulger. 2nd and 10. Nate Brooks now in at the corner, replacing Fitzgerald for Miami. West Virginia 3 wide receivers and the eye in the backfield. Bulger now calling timeout, as he did not like the setup that he had or the personnel package against Miami's defense. So with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to go first quarter, West Virginia takes their first timeout. It's 7-3. Mountaineers leading on a Bulger to David Saunders 5-yard touchdown pass. Miami responded with a 23-yard field goal from Andy Crossland. But the key, obviously, John, is this Hurricane defense. I think Miami can move the ball on West Virginia. West Virginia's given up 230 yards per game on the ground, and the only really good competition they've played is Ohio State. So I think there is a weakness there in the rush defense for West Virginia. But their offense is really, I mean, with zero-A and this package of wide receivers, Butch Davis said during the week that, yeah, Peter Warrick probably is the best wide receiver, but collectively as a group, he thinks West Virginia is better than Florida State.
And that's saying a lot after watching Florida State do their damage through the air against the Miami secondary. And it all gets back to zero-A and the quarterback, Mark Bulger. If they have a running game, if that offensive line can make you mix it up with the run and the pass, it makes it so tough for a secondary to cover one, but then come up and make the tackle on zero-A in the backfield. He's so fast and so elusive. Dan Morgan and the rest of that defense, especially the linebacker crew, I think they're going to have a big day. Morgan Webster and Michael Smith, they're going to have a big day. They're going to have to come up with a lot of open field tackles and also coverage. They have to be in the right zones at the right times to really confuse Mark Bulger.
David Saunders, number 6, the wide receiver, 5 catches, 48 yards in this first quarter. So he may be on his way to a huge day on 2nd and 10. The quick flip outside to Saunders, and he is knocked out at the 39-yard line. Mike Rumpf making the tackle. Short gain of about 2 or 3 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and long for the Mountaineers.
Great reaction by Delvin Brown and Rumpf that time. The Mountaineers used that play in their opening series for about 8 or 9 yards. This time they give him the same look, but the reaction time is that much better. Take a look at Rumpf on the outside. As soon as he sees the ball's thrown, he gets out of coverage, and along with some help from the inside and Delvin Brown, they limit the Mountaineers to only 2 yards.
That ball is actually completed behind the line of scrimmage, but they hope to clear the area out and give the receiver somewhere to run. West Virginia 3rd down and 8. They are 3 of 3 on 3rd down conversions out of the shotgun from the 39. Bulger stepping up over the middle, complete to Ivy inside Miami territory. He is drilled down by Edward Reed, but it's a pickup to Miami's 46-yard line.
It's going to be key for the Miami linebackers to be disciplined enough to stay in the zones. That time, Nate Webster was a little too aggressive on the inside receiver. He hung with him too long and left room in the inside zone for Bulger to be patient and fit the football in. You see, number 52, Webster, was just too far outside. If he stays in the right lane, in the right drop for a linebacker where he should be, that's a tougher throw for a quarterback.
17-yard completion, 1st down West Virginia at Miami's 44. 3:46 to go first quarter. Again, the 3 wide receivers set for the Mountaineers. And out of the I formation, and again, a timeout by Bulger, as the play clock was down to 4. So West Virginia spends their 2nd timeout. John, the puzzle needs to be solved by the Miami defense. They've got to figure out a way to stop this passing game. I always say the best defense is the pass rush. Pass defense is the pass rush.
What I'd like to see Miami do, if they come out, if West Virginia comes out in a 3 or 4 wide receiver set, I'd like to see him match up with, take a linebacker out and bring another DB in and make West Virginia run the football in that situation to beat you. Don't let the linebackers get in coverage where they have athletes that are a little bit quicker and a little bit more used to getting down the field and finding those open areas. Miami's not really proficient in their linebackers dropping back. They're great run stoppers, but they're not asked to be in pass coverage all that much. I'd like to see them bring another defensive back in and really get speed on speed in the secondary.
Go with the nickel package, where Al Blades actually goes from free safety to your nickel. First quarter scoring this season, Miami has outscored their opponents 40-20. West Virginia has not. They have given up 7 more points than they've scored in the first quarter, but right now West Virginia has a pretty good handle on this football game, scoring on the opening drive and moving on their 2nd possession with the 7-3 lead. Don Nealon, you saw him in his 19th year at West Virginia, and again we talk about continuity in coaching staffs, and this staff on average has is in the top 5 in terms of tenure of all Division I schools. You see the time and the score. First down and 10, Mountaineers. They'll snap it from Miami's 44. Pat Green in motion behind his quarterback. And Zeraway with the football, tries the cutback and will get back to the line of scrimmage, but that is about it. Damian Lewis and Derek Ham combining for the tackle. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
That's a nice job on the backside by Derek Ham, the 6'5", 260-pound senior. He keeps his ground along with Lewis, number 92, was patient enough to let Zeraway make the first move, and then they collapsed from the backside. Nice defensive line play by the Hurricanes.
Zeraway now 10 carries for 33 yards. Loss of about a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 11. Ball just inside Miami's 45.
Nobody's on the inside receiver, Frank.
Triple wide receiver to the top of the formation. Bulger wide open one more time. Again, West Virginia with the completion down to the 36-yard line. As hooking up with that one, Nate Brooks making the tackle on the wide receiver.
Depending on the play, making the stop, number 52, Nate Webster.
It was number 16 that time on the catch. That's Sean Foreman, the fourth-year player, 6'1", 205 pounds. And another look at Foreman running out of the slot.
He's just finding the soft spot in the zone. You see him try to settle down in the outside. Doesn't want to come inside the hash because that's where Nate Webster's waiting for him to come. He stays on the outside. Nice patience by the West Virginia passing attack in Sean Foreman.
3rd and 2 for the Mountaineers. 4 wide receivers in on 3rd and 2. They give it to Zeraway, and he will not get the first down. Nate Webster in there along with Al Blades as Zeraway lost his helmet. And that is the nickel package we're talking about, where Blades actually becomes the nickel instead of the strong safety.
Miami went straight up man-to-man coverage on the outside. They rolled the dice and wanted West Virginia to try to throw the football. They knew they had enough pressure on the inside. You see Derek Ham again along with Nate Webster and Dan Morgan. Al Blades around the tackle. Nice job by the Miami defense. Good call by the defense coordinator. Bill Miller did a great job of rolling the dice, and now West Virginia is going to go for it on 4th down.
4th down and a little over 2 yards out of the I formation. Zeraway in motion, the give to the fullback Green, and he is dropped by Michael Lawson. It's very close to the first down. Zeraway reacted like he thought he had committed a penalty with illegal motion, but the officials ruled that he merely was going in motion.
He never went forward, Frank. He went laterally to the line of scrimmage, and that way, and he kept going. He never stopped. So that way, there's no penalty. He never stops before the ball snapped. He's just really going in motion. He thinks he blows it, but actually really didn't do anything wrong.
Well, they will measure for the first down. Green slipped out of the grasp, and I think they gave him a pretty good spot on this.
It looks like he has enough for the first down, but clearly Michael Lawson had the ball carrier tackled behind the line of scrimmage. He runs through another arm tackle, and it looks like he's going to have enough for the first down.
It is a West Virginia first down as they convert on 4th and 2 with 1:27 left to go here in the first quarter. Mountaineers leading 7-3. Well, you're right. Zeraway thought he had made a mistake and cost West Virginia a first down. But again, if you're not going forward toward the line of scrimmage and you move 1 count prior to the snap, had he been moving while the ball was being snapped, it might have been a penalty. But as long as you're going sideways.
Or if he had stopped, you have to wait for a count, right?
Exactly. So from the Miami 34, it is 1st and 10. The fullback, Green, now in motion. Fake to Zeraway. Bulger on the rollout. Being chased by Webster. Pass complete to Foreman at the 23-yard line. Mike Rumpf on the coverage, but not enough to prevent an 11-yard gain and a first down.
And they're going to get tacked on with a roughing the passer. Nate Webster hitting Bulger after the fact, and that'll add 15 yards to the completion.
Let's take another look at Nate Webster, number 52, as he reads the rollout. We can't really see the hit.
Nice pass on the outside, but watch the hit on the outside also. From the inside out, Webster, really, I don't think that's a personal foul. He held up. He really didn't do a whole lot to punish the quarterback. And I don't know if that's a personal foul or not. He kind of laid off.
Jack Kramer, the referee, making the call. And that's pretty iffy.
That's real iffy. I don't think that's a penalty. That's a bad call by the official.
Now the penalty takes it down to the 11-yard line, so West Virginia threatening again. They have the early 7-0 lead in a quick-moving first quarter. 57 seconds to go and the clock running. 1st and 10 Mountaineers at the Miami 11. Bulger is 9 out of 10 in this football game. Motion from Saunders. Bulger. Fade route. End zone. Caught. Touchdown. Sean Foreman beating Nate Brooks.
Frank, at some point, the cornerback has to turn around and look for the football. Nate Brooks never turns around. The ball was a very catchable ball for the wide receiver, number 16, Sean Foreman, but you have to turn your head at some point. A lot of air onto the football right there. You have to look for the football. It's too late for Brooks. It's a great pass on the outside to Foreman. He gets his 5th touchdown, but watch the separation right there. There's the ball. When the receiver looks, the DB should look. He waits too long to turn around. And I don't know if he was in bounds or not on that play.
I think he got his right foot down in bounds. Yes. Jay Taylor on for the conversion. It is up, and it is good. And with 39 seconds left to go in the first quarter, West Virginia has scored both times they've had the football. It's the Mountaineers 14, the Hurricanes 3. We'll be back from Mountaineer Field in Morgantown after this on Sports Channel.
I'll just tell my ball 4.
The crowd into it at Mountaineer Field as West Virginia leads 14-3 as we see Bulger to Sean Foreman one more time.
And Frank, you're right. I'm wrong again. He gets his right foot in, clearly touchdown. But as we were talking about during the break, Brooks has to turn around a little quicker and actually turn the wrong way, turn into the receiver. It's a lot easier to take a look at his eyes. When they get as big as light bulbs, that means something's going to happen. The ball's on the way, and you have to turn around and try to make the play a little bit earlier than Nate Brooks did.
West Virginia has held the ball for 12 minutes and 31 seconds. Miami a minute 50, although Miami did get a field goal out of that drive. Taylor's kickoff is going to go out of bounds on the fly. And so Miami will take it at their 35-yard line. Yeah, that looked like one of my drives off the tee. Yeah. No, not you. You hit it straight.
Oh, yeah. I tell stories that I hit it straight, but I hit a couple of those left benders, too.
I blame the wrong guy. It's John Ollinger who does the kickoff duties. As you see the time of possession.
Wow.
Speaking of. The 2 sustained drives by the Mountaineers of 72 and 78 yards, 4 touchdowns. And so the Miami defense off to a very rocky start. Miami will have it 1st and 10 at their 35.
Big job for this offensive line, and Scott Covington now down 14-3. Can they respond and move the football against this Mountaineer defense?
From the 35, Nick Williams and Edgerrin James, the running backs behind Scott Covington. James on the pitch, gives it to Santana Moss on the reverse. Good block from Robert Hall. Here's Santana Moss, 40.
Great
45.
block on the outside.
Santana Moss down the sideline, runs out of bounds, and they mark him out back at near the 50-yard line. He actually stepped on the chalk back near the 50.
Nice block downfield by Reggie Wayne and Santana Moss. A lot of concentration in the backfield. There was a bobble on this exchange. Watch Edgerrin James hand the football off. He almost loses the football. The great comeback block there by Robert Hall, the left tackle. And then take a look at your wide receiver downfield. Reggie Wayne gives Santana Moss an opportunity to take it down the sideline, but a nice play on 1st down by the Hurricane offense.
25 seconds left to go first quarter. 1st down Miami, just shy of midfield. Covington to throw. Outside complete, Andre King at the 45-40. Andre still going. 30-yard line where he's finally brought down. Chris Edmonds and Damon Cogdell, and a flag down in the Miami backfield. It's going to be roughing the passer.
You're going to add another 15 yards to this play, too. Nice patience by Scott Covington. He had a corner roll up. He wanted to take a 3-step drop and throw to his left. The corner rolled up. The wide receiver ran a fade route. He went to the wide side of the field just with a hitch pattern, and now it's a big play for the Hurricanes.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer against the defense. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
We'll watch Scott Covington.
Watch him take a look to the left, Frank. He wants to throw the 3-step drop. He sees that he saw a different coverage after the pre-snap. That's where you get the foul. The hit wasn't the penalty. It's bringing the quarterback, Scott Covington, to the ground. That's the no-no. Gary Still's a little over-aggressive in his first week back from the injury against Ohio State. He gets flagged for the personal foul.
I believe the initial contact was okay, but once he threw him down, that's where the flag came out. So the penalty moves it to the 14-yard line, where Miami will have it 1st and 10 with 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. Covington checking off at the line. Give to James. James squirts through to the 10-yard line. Jerry Porter and Kevin Landell combining on the tackle. It's a pickup of 4, and that will do it for the first quarter. We have come to the end of the first period here in Morgantown, where the Mountaineers lead it by a score of 14-3. A couple of touchdown passes from Mark Bulger of the Mountaineers has his team in the lead. We'll be right back with second quarter action on Sports Channel right after this. Next Saturday, the Hurricanes return home to face the Boston College Eagles in another important conference showdown. Kickoff in the Orange Bowl will be at 6 p.m. First 10,000 fans receive offensive trading cards. Call 305-284-CANES or 1-800-GO-CANES for ticket information. And again, that game is scheduled for a 6 p.m. kickoff. Originally, it was thought it was going to be at noon, but the game has been picked up by ESPN2. And of course, we'll be doing it here on Sports Channel as well, but it is a 6 p.m. kickoff. Hurricanes will have a 2nd and 6 from the West Virginia 10 as we begin the second quarter. Quite a contrast from the game 2 years ago up here at Morgantown, which was a defensive struggle, which Miami wins 10-7 on a blocked punt in the final minute. And only one offensive touchdown in that game, and that was set up after an interception returned by West Virginia to the Miami 3-yard line.
That's right.
So this game has been quite a contrast, both offenses going up and down the field right now. But imperative for Miami to get into the end zone. The Big East standing, Syracuse on top, West Virginia is 1-0. Virginia Tech with that stunning loss to Temple at 3-1. And now all these teams are going to start playing each other. It's the crunch time as far as the conference schedule, because West Virginia still has their game with Syracuse left, and with Virginia Tech left, Miami's got to play BC and Syracuse. And so these standings can jumble up and down from one week to the next. 2nd and 6 as we begin the second quarter. Scott Covington brings Miami out first, a 2nd and 6 from the 10. Fake pitch, Covington to the outside, complete to Reggie Wayne, down to the 1-yard line. He will have a first down, so it'll be 1st and goal. Scooter Davis on the coverage as Reggie Wayne makes catch number 26 on the season.
Nice job by Reggie Wayne getting in and out of his route. You have to do everything with a little bit more quickness the closer you get to the goal line. There's not a lot of room. Fake the pitch to the wide side. Covington steps back, throws the ball to the outside. Reggie Wayne had enough patience to wait on the football and then get the first down. Hurricanes knocking on the door on the 1-yard line.
Good job by Joaquin Gonzalez to get Gary Stills off his feet in the passing lane. On 1st and goal, James, easy touchdown. Running behind Joaquin Gonzalez and Robert Hall, and James has the touchdown, his 5th of the season.
Great surge by the Miami right side of the offensive line. We talked about Gonzalez, Damon, Neely, Ty Wise, Mercier, and Hall, all 5 of them. We might as well talk about all of them. Nice job. He was really untouched. Edgerrin James goes in. Great down block you see there by Gonzalez, and he goes into the end zone. Wasn't touched until he got 3 yards into the end zone. A nice answer by the Miami offense. Nick Williams, a nice kick-out block on the All-American Stills, and James goes in for the score, his 5th of the season.
Out of Popovich's hole, this is Andy Crossland with the conversion, and it is good. So 2 plays into the second quarter, 7 seconds have elapsed, and Miami has their first touchdown of the day. It's West Virginia 14, the Hurricanes 10. We'll be back from Mountaineer Field here on Sports Channel right after this.
Fans, be sure to check the McDonald's ad on page 9.
To today's telecast have been granted solely to Sports Channel by ESPN Regional. For the entertainment of our audience, any reproduction, transmission, or other use of this program without the express written consent of ESPN Regional or Sports Channel Florida is prohibited. As the Canes get ready to kick off, John, and Todd Sievers will kick it off. Miami defensive coordinator Bill Miller kind of between a rock and a hard place with this young secondary. And what do you do to get pressure on Mark Bulger?
Well, naturally, you'd like to go man-to-man and have put a lot of run support pressure with your up 7 and bring an extra DB in, but the risk you run is if Zeraway breaks contain and he breaks across the line of scrimmage in man coverage, your defenders have your back towards Zeraway. He can score a touchdown at will if he breaks containment.
And going down at the 12-yard line under coverage by Marquise Fitzgerald is Antonio Brown. A great kickoff by Todd Sievers, pinning Brown in the corner and limiting the area you can return the ball in.
Very important, the kicking game very important for Miami in a tight game. 14-10, 14:45 left to go in the second quarter. You see Amos Zeraway, he's the key on offense. Bulger's having a terrific day. We talked about in the open. He's very competent. He's very high percentage thrower. He does a good job spreading the football out. Over 66% of his passes are completions. And now, in a game earlier this year against Maryland, he was 20 of 25 for 293 yards and 3 scores. He can really control the football by throwing it if they're having trouble running the football.
1st and 10, 4 wide receiver formation in the ball game. And this is Saunders in motion, and they've got mismatches out here. Saunders held on to the football, and down he goes at the 10-yard line. Good play by Edward Reed to make the initial hit. And Saunders screaming at the official about a late hit.
Now, I like that play the first time they ran it. The second time, I wasn't so crazy. Now I hate the play because what you're doing, you're throwing the ball almost backwards. It's a lateral, and you're really not having a lot of success on the outside. If that's a fumble if he doesn't catch the football, and you get, what, maybe -1 yard out of the play. I just don't like the play, and right there you see some contact after the play. I think it was incidental contact. Webster trying to get out of the way.
On second down, quick flip out, incomplete, as Corey Ivy wasn't even looking for the football, and Edward Reed had the coverage. But Ivy never looked back at his quarterback.
That's a hot read. What Bolger was thinking of, he was uncovered. There wasn't any there was a lot of cushion between DB and wide receiver. The quarterback read it, and the receiver did not, and it's almost an interception.
3rd and 11 for the Mountaineers. 14:37 left to go second quarter. Frank Fort and John Conjemi with you. The Mountaineers with a 14-10 lead as you look at Edward Reed, the freshman safety out of St. Rose, Louisiana. West Virginia has converted 4 of 5 on 3rd down, and the one they didn't convert, they got on 4th down. Saunders in motion, Bolger on the rollout.
He's got him downfield.
Going deep for Foreman, and it is overthrown at midfield. Bolger trying to throw on the run. Had he stopped and been able to plant his feet, it would have been a touchdown.
Frank, that's the key. All his momentum was going towards the sidelines, and where did the football end up? To the right, almost out of bounds. That time, Bolger had enough time and enough really patience that he could have set up. You see clearly Rump is beat down the sidelines by 5 to 10 yards. The ball needed to be thrown a little bit earlier. I think Bolger never saw his receiver on the outside when he was rolling out.
The deep receiver, number 23.
Edward Reed back to receive the punt. Pretty good kick. Reed at the 46. Escapes one tackle, but can't escape the next wave as number 49, Anthony Green, the fullback, makes the tackle right at the Miami 46-yard line. So an excellent punt and nothing on the return. Miami will start 1st and 10 from their 46-yard line, 44 yards on the punt. We'll be back with more second quarter action. 14 minutes, 18 seconds to go in the second quarter from Morgantown. It's the Mountaineers 14, the Hurricanes 10. Back at Mountaineer Field, 14-18 left to go second quarter. West Virginia with a 14-10 lead. Miami is held for the first time today, and they take over at their 46-yard line. Double tight end for the Canes. Mondrell Fulcher joining Bubba Franks, and Edgerrin James, the lone running back. James with the football on the stretch play behind Richard Mercier. Good block by Mercier, and James picks up 8 on 1st down. Tackle from West Virginia's defense from Chris Edmonds, the outside linebacker, number 41.
There you get to see some outside running by the University of Miami and some speed by the offensive line, really getting out in front of Edgerrin James, doing a nice job. Richard Mercier and Robert Hall on that left side. He looked like he had an escort to the outside, Frank, and he picks up 7 yards.
Excellent block by Mercier, the junior from Montreal, Canada. Missed virtually all of last season with a severe knee injury. Canes glad to have him back. And whistles blow. I believe Robert Hall simulated the start of the play, and that'll cost Miami 5.
That's Miami really have stayed away from the penalties early in this football game, and that's been tormenting them the last couple of weeks and really stopping the offensive more than the defensive. Opposing defense has been stopping Miami.
Turns it from 2nd and 2 to a 2nd and 7. Robert Hall, the 6'4", 290 junior out of Houston, Texas, came to Miami as a tight end and switched to tackle. He is the helmet popping up there at the top of your screen, and that's where the movement occurred.
Yeah, it looked like he started to rock back and tried to put full flaps up with his left arm, but he couldn't stop the momentum going backwards.
So Miami with their own 49 now facing a 2nd and 7. Nick Williams, the fullback, in motion. West Virginia shows blitz, and Tompkins, the safety, comes on the blitz, complete to Reggie Wayne, cannot slip the tackle at the West Virginia 47-yard line as Charles Fisher had the coverage, and a pickup of about 4. That'll get back 4 of the 5 penalty yards. It'll bring up 3rd and about 3.
Big play coming up for this Miami offense. They've regained the field position now. Can they get the first down and keep this drive alive against the West Virginia defense that they've really done a good job running and throwing the football on? Now this crowd will get into it for the Mountaineers.
Miami has to reach the West Virginia 44 to get a first down. 3rd and 3. West Virginia stacking the line of scrimmage. James behind Mercier. James to the 40. Cutback. James 30. Jerry Porter has him at the 25 and 24-yard line. That is a Miami first down.
What a great move in the open field by Edgerrin James, going down the field. Really just left Gary Tompkins, number 11, the strong safety, on about the 30-yard line, and great patience. Richard Mercier was the key, pulling out to the left side. Take a look the right side of your line. You see 77 Hall and 62 Mercier. A nice block on the outside. Now watch this move right here. Goes outside, cuts back to the inside. James doing a nice job protecting the football. Big conversion on third down for the Miami offense.
First and 10 at the West Virginia 24. 12:24 left to go second quarter. Mountaineers with a 14-10 lead. Miami approaching the red zone. Mondrell Fulcher, tight end in motion. Covington on a rollout. Looking back the other way, has James on the screen.
It should be a touchdown, Frank.
James did not get the block he needed on Barrett Green. He does get down to about the 11-yard line for a first down. But two Miami blockers in front simply whiffed on Barrett Green, or it probably was a touchdown.
Green did a nice job. It was 2-on-1 to the outside, and a nice play call by Larry Coker. This was all set up. They're waiting to have the ball on that hash to really come back and throw the screen to the short side. Watch 62 outside, Richard Mercier, and also number 64, Ty Wise. They missed the block on Barrett Green. If that block happens successfully for Miami, it's an easy touchdown.
Ty Wise will look at the film and want that one back. But it is a Miami first down as he picked up 13 on the screen pass. Double tight end formation. James with the football. James still going.
He's still
on his feet. Touchdown. James.
Poor tackling, but great effort by the junior running back. The 6'1", 220-pound junior Edgerrin James just refused to go down. Breaks 2 or 3 tackles to get into the end zone for the Miami Hurricanes, and they have answered on the road, 16-14 Miami. Edgerrin James goes in. Watch the running ability. He breaks 1-2 tackles right there. Tompkins again. You see Barrett Green, he made the last tackle. Mondrell Fulcher says, come on, man, keep your feet, get in the end zone, and they convert. And right now it's 16-14 Canes.
Edgerrin James' second touchdown of the afternoon. Popovich with the hold, Crossland with the kick, and it is good. And with 11 minutes and 41 seconds left to go here in the second quarter, Miami has taken a 17-14 lead over the Mountaineers of West Virginia. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be right back with the kickoff from Morgantown right after this.
I'll just tell my...
Sports Channel is your home for NFL football Florida style. Tune in every Sunday morning for 90 minutes of in-depth pregame coverage of the Dolphins, Buccaneers, and Jaguars. It's all on Sunday Morning NFL exclusively on Sports Channel Florida. A second look at the Edgerrin James touchdown, and good initial blocking, good block by Nick Williams on Gary Stills, and then Edgerrin does the rest from the 5-yard line.
Yeah, also, it looked like a great down block by number 77, Robert Hall. He really just drove the entire Mountaineer defensive front down and gave enough room for Edgerrin James to go in for the score. He has 2 touchdowns on the day, a big day for this offensive line in the Miami offense.
This is Antonio Brown at his 10. Brown dancing around, and that is not the way to return against this Miami speed on special teams, as he was pinned down by Nate Brooks at the 16-yard line. Here's Edgerrin James, and his numbers for the junior from Immokalee. Pretty good average. 8 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 9 rushes, 72 yards. He's came into the game. He has 2 touchdowns today. Came into the game with 4 TDs, so that's a 6 on a total. Edgerrin's really running like the guy we saw in the beginning of the season and last year, running hard and using his speed to the outside. Looked like he was dancing a lot against Florida State. Today, very aggressive, very determined, going north and south, and it showed up as successful for that offense for Miami.
West Virginia, first and 10 at the 17. Zerouay with a hole. Zerouay across the 23-yard line where Al Blades makes the tackle, and he closed down what appeared to be a very large hole, but Zerouay still picks up close to 6 on first down.
It shows you how quick Zerouay can hit the hole. Al Blades coming from that secondary. Nice tackle for Blades, number 7 you see there, but a big gain on first down. Miami doesn't want to give that much up to Zerouay on first down.
Second and 4 Mountaineers, coming up on 11 minutes to go here in the second quarter as Miami has their first lead of the day. David Saunders in motion. Bulger gives it to Zerouay. Zerouay tripped up, still keeps the feet moving and does get about a yard. Nate Webster on the tackle for the Hurricane defense. And it'll bring up third and a little more than 2.
Credit Ed Reed, number 20. He must have done a good job this week in film study, because the West Virginia wide receiver motioned down, and Ed Reed right away knew it wasn't a pass play. He really broke from the outside in and caused Zerouay to run where he didn't want to run, pushing it to the outside. Credit Edward Reed. He looked like he bumped his knee or bumped his ankle a little bit on the play, but he's still in the football game.
Zerouay 13 carries for 40 yards. Third and a little more than 2. Green, the fullback, in motion. Fake to Zerouay. Bulger quickly outside. Saunders complete. Mike Rump pushes him out of bounds at the 39-yard line, but it's a West Virginia first down.
Well, in the pros, that's called picking on the rookie. We're in college now, so they pick on the young guy, the freshman. Really too much cushion on the outside. Mike Rump was at least 10 yards away from the wide receiver on the outside. After the play action, take a look to the outside. Look at Mike Rump. He's all the way inside the numbers. He's not even within 10 yards of the wide receiver, number 6, David Saunders. He has more ability than that. He has to be a little bit more aggressive on the corner, make it a tougher play for quarterback and wide receiver.
Gain of 14 and a first down, West Virginia at their 39. On the counter, Zerouay. Through the hole, Edward Reed and Al Blades combined on the tackle after a gain of a little more than 2. Good penetration by the Miami front four that time caused Zerouay to hesitate and let the pursuit get there.
West Virginia should probably try to start throwing on first down because it looks like Miami being very aggressive with their secondary. And as you said, Frank, the front four, they did a nice job. Lewis, Ham, Sweeney, and Hips doing a nice job getting into the backfield and really winning the battle up front at the point of attack on the line of scrimmage.
And a look at Adrian Wilson, the sophomore from Jacksonville, Arkansas, in there at defensive tackle right now, replacing Matt Sweeney for the time being. 2nd and 8 for the Mountaineers from their 41. Zerouay tripped up, or he might have gone a little bit further. Nate Webster pushed him in the back and looked like he actually tripped over one of the offensive linemen who was down on the ground.
Yeah, Zerouay had a crease. He has great vision when he gets inside those tackles. As we said earlier, only 5'10", so he's a very low to the ground runner. Watch this. He may trip over one of his offensive linemen, but he sees a hole and he darts to the right side. Right there, it looked like he tripped over number 67, DeGros, the center, and he was off to the races on that Miami sideline.
Eric DeGros, who is a graduate student taking medical courses, he has applied to medical school. 3rd down and about 6 for the Mountaineers. Bulger swings it out to Zerouay and overthrew it. And Miami seemed to be in pretty good shape on that coverage. So the Miami defense holds for the 2nd time, and they will maintain the lead that they took on the last drive as Miami leads at 17-14 with 8:46 left to go 2nd quarter. A good look at Amos Zerouay, and take the look at the guns on that guy.
Yeah, he's a big fella.
Whoa. He is built. I was on the field before the game last year, and he was walking around in this little cutoff t-shirt. And I'm telling you, this guy is a rock of granite.
He may not be big in stature, only 5'10", 200 pounds, but you're right. He's a thick person.
Jay Taylor to kick it away. Taylor booms it toward the far sideline. Takes a good West Virginia bounce. Edward Reed going to pick it up on the run, and down he goes at the 5-yard line. Number 35, Dave Lightcap, the backup defensive back, making the play. And Reed did not want that ball to get down inside the 5-yard line, so he took a chance and thought he could outrun Lightcap. But there is a penalty flag down against the Mountaineers.
That's a huge break for Miami because that ball really could have been at the worst inside the 5, but as it was now, Edward Reed tries to keep the ball alive and makes a play on it, but now West Virginia will have to come back, bring their special teams back onto the field, and punt it back to Miami.
Flag back basically where the personal protector was for Jay Taylor. So there was some type of hold on the punt protection.
Holding against the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Thank you, Jack Kramer, for validating my speculation. It'll cost West Virginia 10, and that'll move it back towards their 30. Well, the point of the foul was the 38, so they'll move this back to the 28-yard line.
Miami's done a good job. When you come on the road, especially in a hostile environment like West Virginia, when you come up and you have great support from your fan base, you want to try to take the crowd out of the game. And before that punt, Miami was doing that offensively, controlling the ball, making West Virginia come out now and punt in consecutive possessions. So Miami doing a nice job on the road, controlling the crowd.
There were a few boos after Miami's last touchdown. Again, Taylor to kick. This time Miami backs out and puts the return on.
Oh, bad punt.
And he shanked it off to the right, and that is out of bounds somewhere around midfield. We'll see where they mark it. As the headlinesman still stepping forward into West Virginia territory, and it's at the 47 of
48 yards Miami gains on that kick.
On the exchange, Miami gets 48 yards, so a very, very costly penalty for the West Virginia Mountaineers. Well, the penalty was put it back to the 28, so a 19-yard punt by Jay Taylor.
Yeah, it was one of those that go off the side of your foot and you go, oh, you got to be kidding me. What am I doing?
After he just had an excellent
punt.
He
just boomed one.
Seconds before.
Yeah, it's something you can't do, especially in a tight football game. You're going up against an offense that is gaining confidence with every possession. Miami winning the game, or leading the game now 17-14. There's only 8:28 left to go before halftime, and in position to take it down and put some more points on the scoreboard.
Well, Miami and West Virginia got a much different game, as we mentioned, than 2 years ago, as we're seeing some offensive fireworks, and it's going to be an interesting halftime for both defensive coordinators. Hey fans, take the Hurricane Club Challenge. Help gather new donors to the Hurricane Club and win great prizes like a trip for two to a game of your choice. For more information, contact the Hurricane Club at 305-284-6699 or 1-800-GO-CANES. A look at Scott Covington and the offense. And John, evaluate Scott Covington's play so far this year. He's waited patiently to become the starter, sitting behind Ryan Clement. And, you know, frankly, after the first 5 games, there are some people who think he should have been starting last year.
Scott Covington has done nothing but impress me this season. I mean, he's thrown the football well. He's leading the team. He's a natural leader. You can tell that when you talk to him. Hey, you know, he's a senior quarterback. He had to wait, you know, for his time to play, but he's done a great job. I believe his passing efficiency is 9th in the country. And he's all in 1 year. You know, he puts all his eggs in one basket. You can see now the quarterback comparison. Very competent, 6 for 7, 79 yards, has the running game. You know, Bulger really had a lot of success early, but he's been 2 series when they've gone 3 plays and out. I think Scott Covington has done an excellent job running this team. He has the wide receiver skill position. They get another year underneath their belt. They're more aggressive. They know where they're going with the football. I think he's done a great job up to this point.
Yeah, he was under tremendous pressure against Florida State with that Florida State pass rush, and they can make anybody look bad. And I thought Scott played a very serviceable game against Florida State. Miami just did not have the horses up front to really generate much of a running game. But Miami stuck in that game. And the one thing about this offensive line, they're very intelligent and they work hard. Quick snap, and Covington tries to fall on it, and he does get it back. I think Ty Wise thought somebody had jumped into the neutral zone, and he was trying to get the offside penalty, but Scott wasn't ready for the snap.
Yeah, no one was ready for the snap, and that's what you can't have happen if you're University of Miami. You do not want any penalties right now to lose the field position, but you don't want to turn it over either. Now you get a loss on first down, you come back 2nd and 12. Let's see what Miami can do to regain that field position and regain the momentum they've had.
8 minutes to go, second quarter. Miami up 17-14. 2nd and 12 after the fumble, which Covington recovered. Covington gives it to James. James hit in the backfield, and down he goes. Mark Thurston, the freshman out of Miami Senior High School, 6'3", 245 pounds, closing down to the inside, beat his block, and dropped James for the loss of a yard.
Yeah, he beat Richard Mercier, number 62, the left guard. Thurston showing you some speed. He's 6'3", 245 pounds. He's only a freshman. The top of your screen, Thurston's going to come down on a game. There was a game on the inside. Thornton goes outside. Thurston's coming right off of his back, and he beats the offensive guard for Miami, Mercier, to the point of attack. 2 big plays in a row for this West Virginia defense. Now the crowd back into the football game.
3rd and about 13 out of the shotgun. Covington stepping up, and he is going to be sacked. On the sack, Antoine Lake, 6'5", 255 pounds, and a penalty flag down at the Miami 42-yard line. Referee says, my time, my time. Now they're going to discuss it. The first sack of the game goes to Antoine Lake of West Virginia. James Kramer or Jack Kramer.
Sideline warning against West Virginia.
So it's a sideline warning and not a penalty. Butch is saying, hey, well, why is the flag down then if it's just a warning? Okay, you got the explanation.
I would want to know too, Butch, especially when you lost a couple of yards on consecutive plays, then you get a sack. It looked like a long time developing. The receivers and the quarterback, the timing there just wasn't the way it should have been on the play.
Crossman on the punt. Look out, they blocked it. Ball is loose. It's going to be West Virginia football at Miami's 20-yard line, even though Miami recovered the block punt. But they came right up the middle against Miami's protection.
Boy, 2 or 3 blue jerseys for the Mountaineers come right up the middle of the special teams for Miami, and clearly they were outmanned and ready to block the punt. No protection in the middle of that special teams that time for the University of Miami, and West Virginia comes up with a huge turnover just after they shank the punt, and their defense comes 3 plays and out. Take a look at Crossland. Just no chance. It looked like number 7.
Number 34, I think it was, John. 34 and 7.
Yeah,
Carter McIntyre, number 34,
right.
seemed to get it. Watch them come right up the middle. They loop, and Miami just does not pick it up.
Carter and McIntyre, they did a nice job for the special teams for West Virginia. They loop, as you said, Frank, get to the punter, and now it's West Virginia ball on the Miami 19-yard line.
Butch Davis, who takes a lot of pride in the special teams, but Miami gives up a big play there. Bulger will throw on first down. Foreman wide open at the 15. Foreman inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. Edward Reed on the tackle, and they are going after Mike Rumpf in a big way.
Yeah, he's giving so much cushion on the outside. West Virginia knows when they want it, they can go and throw that 3-step drop to the outside, and it's like taking candy from a baby because it's there when they want it. You see the quarterback Bulger just drifting out to his right. Rumpf's not within 5 or 6 yards of the intended receiver. Sean Foreman, he catches the football, makes a nice move, and gets the ball down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line.
First and goal, Mountaineers. Huge turnaround. Miami had it at West Virginia's 47 with a first down after a short punt. Zerouay got away from Lawson and picks up about a yard. Webster on the tackle for Miami along with Mike Rumpf.
Did you see that quickness by Zerouay in the offensive backfield? It looked like number 97, Michael Lawson, was in perfect position to take down Famous Amos, but he does a nice job turning himself sideways and then still going towards the goal line. He ends up getting a yard on the play, but a terrific play by the All-American.
Well, Miami seemed in good position. They were leading by 3, had the ball after the short punt at West Virginia's 47, but the Mountaineers held with the help of a penalty and a sack and then blocked the punt. Now West Virginia in business. Fake to Zerouay. Bulger on the roll. Firing and just throws it away. Just throws it away. Foreman well covered in the back of the end zone. And that's a smart play by the quarterback. You don't want to give up possession, and certainly don't want to give up, at the very least, a field goal opportunity.
That's a good decision by the quarterback and a great defensive stand by Miami there. They had everybody in the right position. It really looked like they had one receiver on the outside, Sean Foreman, against 2 or 3 defenders. Miami wins that battle on second down, brings up a third down and a must-stop situation for the defense.
West Virginia 0 for 3 on third down the last 3 times they've had a third down situation, 4 of 7 overall in the game. A big third and goal for the Mountaineers with 5:25 to go in the second quarter. Bulger, quick drop, slant pass, touchdown. Corey Ivy. Very hard to defend, only 4 yards away from the goal line.
Yeah, Ed Reed defending from inside out. You really don't want to give up the inside that easy. Ed Reed looked like he took the bait, thought the receiver may go to the outside. He ends up going inside. It's a touchdown for West Virginia.
The Mountaineers cash in off the block punt. And ironic that a block punt would put them in the lead after the way Miami won the game here 2 years ago in Morgantown. Bulger's 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon. Jay Taylor with the conversion try. It is up and it is good. And with 5:22 left in the second quarter, West Virginia goes back on top by a score of 21-17. A second look at the touchdown.
West Virginia takes advantage of the block punt provided by the special teams, and you see Bulger there throws his 13th or 14th touchdown on the season. Does a nice job of sticking it in a tight situation. Tough spot. Bulger gets knocked off his feet, but he's happy about the way he threw the football. He has leverage on the inside, a nice route by the receiver. It's always, everything happens a lot quicker when you're down by the goal line. And you see there, Corey Ivy, number 8, makes the touchdown reception for the Mountaineers.
We'll be back with West Virginia's kickoff. They lead at 21-17. We'll be right back on Sports Channel. Back at Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, West Virginia, and Big Mo is momentum back on West Virginia's side after the block punt set them up at Miami's 19-yard line, and they score in 4 plays. Jay Taylor will kick it off to James Jackson and Najee Davenport. John, the Hurricanes missing out on a huge opportunity. They have the ball at West Virginia's 47, but 3 plays gets them nowhere, and then the block punt, and now all of a sudden West Virginia back on top and the crowd back in the ball game. This is James Jackson at the goal line. Jackson across the 20, 25, and down he goes there. Number 23 on the tackle, Scooter Davis, the cornerback. And the Hurricanes will start 1st and 10. So an important possession here for Miami with 5 minutes and 11 seconds to go second quarter. They've surrendered the lead back to West Virginia when it seemed like Miami was in good shape. I mean, if they have the ball at the 47, after the shank punt by Taylor. If they go in and score, now this crowd's out of the ball game. You're looking at a 28-17, and you've got things going your way. But now Miami's going to have to recover mentally from the big mistake on special teams. From the 26-yard line. Williams and James, the running backs behind Covington. Fake to James. Pressure coming on Covington. He steps away and gets back to the 25-yard line. That's a loss of 1. That'll go as a sack, as John Thornton and Charlton Forbes combine on the sack.
Miami was controlling the line of scrimmage because they were having success on first down running the football. Now they go to the play action, and it looked like West Virginia just did a good job of beating the Miami tackles on the outside. It looked like Joaquin Gonzalez was trying to push Thornton up the field, but he did a nice job, and he had some help. There were a lot of blue jerseys in that pocket trying to cause havoc for number 11, Scott Covington.
2nd and 11 for Miami. Williams in motion. Give to James. James gets a couple. Out to the 27-yard line. Again, Forbes in on the tackle along with Barrett Green. Pickup of 2. And it'll be 3rd and 9 for Miami. Edger and James with 11 carries for 73 of Miami's 77 rushing yards. West Virginia with 48 rushing yards, but they have really done their damage in the air.
Big play on 3rd down for Scott Covington, and the offensive line, they need to protect and give him time to get rid of the football.
3 wide receivers in for Miami. Bubba Franks, the tight end, in motion. Still's got a great jump. I don't know if he was offside or not. Covington running for his life. Still going, and he's going to be run out of bounds up at the 33-yard line, shy of the first down. Boy, Stills looked like he was shot out of a cannon. Yeah,
he was guessing the snap count. He did a nice job on the right side. I'm not sure if he wasn't offsides or not, or at least in the neutral zone, but that was a nice job by Stills, the defensive end for the Mountaineer defense.
And you see Butch Davis saying to the head linesman, how is that not offside?
Let's take a look at the top of your screen. It looks like it's clearly offside. Yeah. He was with the online with the offensive tackle for Miami. It looked like Robert Hall, number 77, and the officials missed one there.
So Crossland into punt. His last attempt was blocked. Antonio Brown back to receive for the Mountaineers. Crossland gets this one away, hangs it high. Brown signals fair catch, lets it bounce, and he's going to give up yardage as a result. Nate Brooks hovering over the football, and it'll go dead at about the 20-yard line as it's using the crown of the field.
That's right.
Keep it going, and Nate finally downs it at the 20. 3 minutes and 26 seconds to go second quarter. Now an important defensive series for Miami. You want to keep West Virginia in check because Miami does get the second half kickoff. If you can get another possession for the offense without West Virginia scoring, and then you have the second half kickoff, a 47-yard punt for Andy Crossland and no return. Mountaineers have it at their 20-yard line as you look at Mark Bulger, the junior quarterback out of Pittsburgh Central Catholic, and Big East teams will have another year to deal with this guy.
He's had a solid performance so far in the first half, really proficient throwing the football down the field.
Well, he's been solid all year on first down. Bulger to the outside, complete, as David Saunders made the catch, and Marquise Fitzgerald had pretty good coverage but could not prevent the completion.
That was great coverage on the outside. Fitzgerald, also a freshman. You got 2 freshmen at the corners, and it looks like Fitzgerald playing with a little bit more confidence than Mike Rump. But Mike will get it, once he gets his feet wet, and after the halftime, I think they'll make that adjustment. But Fitzgerald, a nice positioning for a cornerback on that play. They've been successful. Just a stop route on the outside. Fitzgerald with good position. It took a great throw to the outside by Bulger just to get this ball completed on the outside.
Fitzgerald in pretty good shape. Nate Brooks in to replace Marquise on a 2nd and a short 4. Watch out for the reverse. Fake reverse. Bulger still has it. Bulger going deep down the field for Foreman, who makes the catch at the Miami 30-yard line, as Mike Rump never looked back for the football.
Well, you saw that against Florida State with the Florida State receivers going up and battling Miami for the football. They were successful all day, and you see Nate Webster going up saying, don't worry about it, but that's a big play with 2:33 left to go before halftime. You're trying to keep West Virginia off the scoreboard. Bulger fakes to the All-American Zeraway, then fakes the reverse on the outside and just lets it rip down the middle of the football field. It's a jump ball. Who's going to get to it first? The receiver sees the football the whole way and goes up and takes it away from Mike Rump. Sean Foreman with a great reception and a big play for the Mountaineer offense.
46 yards, first down at the Miami 27. Zeraway, look out. Zeraway gets away from Blades. Edward Reed has him now, and down he goes after about a gain of 9, and a penalty flag comes in late. It's going to be dead ball personal foul against West Virginia. One of the offensive linemen took a late shot at one of the Hurricanes, so this will cost them 15 yards. When you see Amos Zeroway with about that 5-yard cup of no defenders once he breaks the line of scrimmage, as a defensive coordinator, you just hold your breath.
And not just because he wears 20, but a lot of similarities to Barry Sanders, the way he makes those cuts to the outside, and his feet seem like they're stopped and no one's moving around him, but he's going sideways and still gaining yards.
Offense.
Yeah, the flag came from that man, the referee, Jack Kramer, as somebody, as the play was ending, took an extra lick on one of Miami's defenders. This will march it back to the 33-yard line. The offensive differential from this season to last season, over 700 yards more passing, over 400 yards less rushing. So they're going with the pass, and as we said before the game, they use that, what Miami calls the diamond package, the 3 wide receivers, about 60% of the time. So the fullback isn't in the game a whole lot for West Virginia.
And they've got 3 talented receivers too, and that's why you see those numbers so significant in yards more passing the football this season than last season. Although you have the All-American behind you, you've got David Saunders, you see number 6 there, 29 catches coming into the game. Sean Foreman, he had 22. And Corey Ivy had 16, so they spread the football around when they're throwing it.
2nd and 16 after the penalty. The fullback Anthony Green is in the game, and he is in motion. Bulger fakes to Zeroway. Bulger with time.
Oh,
Over the middle, intercepted by Edward Reed. Edward Reed running it back to the 40, to midfield. Reed still on his feet, and finally Zeroway drags him down at the West Virginia 42-yard line. But a huge play by Edward Reed, his 2nd interception of the season, and only the 3rd pick thrown by Mark Bulger this year.
Credit Mike Rump. They've been picking on him all day, but at the cornerback position, he did a nice job of jamming the wide receiver on the outside. Bulger wants to throw the football outside after the play action. It's not there because of Mike Rump. He's late going to the middle of the field. You cannot throw the football down the middle late because the safeties are looking at the cornerback. That time, Edward Reed breaks on Bulger's pass and did a terrific job of coming up, making the play from the secondary for the Canes. Now they have instant field position with 1:51 left to go before halftime.
37-yard return by Edward Reed. First down Miami with 1:51 to go in the 2nd quarter. James trying to get the corner, still on his feet, gets back to the 45-yard line of Miami, and the clock will continue to move. They'll mark it at the 44, so it's a loss of about 1.5 yards. Chris Edmonds making the tackle for West Virginia, but again, negative, and Butch wants a timeout. A negative play on first down when you've got great field position. That's something you just can't do.
Yeah, you can't have that, and Butch knows that. Last time they were in perfect field position, they go 3 plays and out, and they get the punt block. Now they have a negative play on first down in West Virginia territory. You have to find a way to make something positive happen against this Mountaineer team on first down.
I'd like to see play action on first down. You've been running the ball pretty well. Hit him with the play action. Butch Davis talking to his offensive unit. You know, in games like this, John, the difference is only 5 or 6 plays that you can pick out over the course of probably 140. Each team, you figure, runs 70 to 75 plays in the course of a game. But in games like this, it's only 5 or 6 that makes the difference. The block punt by West Virginia, the interception by Reed. But now you've got to cash in on those things because you can't let plays like that go to waste.
You're right. And right now, this is a critical time for Miami. They're down 21-17. There's 1:32 left to go before halftime. They need to get on the scoreboard. They'd love to score a touchdown, but even if they can get in position to kick a field goal, it's going to be a battle in the second half of which defense can stop the offense. They need to get on the scoreboard now.
Well, we say this every week, but the Miami tight end in the passing game, Bubba Franks, has only 3 catches through 5 games, and he's got a lot more talent than that. You need to get him the ball somehow. Figure out a way to get him the ball more than that.
Well, the tight ends as a combined unit, they only have 9 receptions, you know, between Bubba Franks and Mondrell Fulcher. So they'd like to use the tight end a little bit more.
Franks 3 catches, 2 of them for touchdowns. But he is so physically talented, you would hope Miami would figure a way to get him the ball. If you're a Hurricane fan, get him the ball a little more during the course of the game. Now the ball is marked ready for play. And the Hurricanes will have it with a 2nd and about 11 from the West Virginia, just inside the West Virginia 44. That's Franks, the tight end, in motion. 4-man rush. Covington under the gun, and down he goes. Kevin Landolt with the sack, the 3rd for West Virginia, and Miami will take a timeout. So 2 possessions that have started in West Virginia territory and Miami's just got nothing out of it.
Give credit to Landolt on the outside, number 98. He was relentless, but he's going up against a back, and he just really trucks Edgerrin James. That's a mismatch. You have the tight end staying in on the strong side of the protection. You have your back protecting backside. You never want to have your offensive back going up against a defensive end. You'd like to have your big man on big man, the tackle on your defensive end. If you have a back, that's a mismatch for the defense, and maybe a bad play call by Miami.
Well, I think what it was too, John, is that it's designed to be a quicker throw, and when it's not there, then your protection scheme gets you in trouble. If the throw is there right away, it's okay, because all you're counting on, I think, is for Edgerrin to get a good piece of him on the first hit. But you see Scott had to reload because the play wasn't there, and now you're asking for trouble with that protection scheme if the throw isn't there right away.
That's a good point. You know, Edgerrin James, he can't be accountable for knocking defensive ends or keeping them out blocking for 3 or 4 seconds, but in that part of the field, you have to either move the pocket or get rid of the football, and Miami didn't do either.
So Miami looking at a game of right now of opportunities lost. Great field position the last 2 times they've had the football. The first ended in a block punt, and this one is going backwards. It's 3rd and 23 for the Hurricanes at the 45-yard line of Miami. With 1 minute and 24 left to go in the first half, the Hurricanes had spent their second timeout. Both teams have 1 timeout left. Triple wide receiver for Miami. Covington steps up in the pocket. Down the sideline, Wayne wide open at the West Virginia 30, and he'll have a first down as he picks up 25 yards.
What a great play by Scott Covington, stepping up into the pocket and delivering a strike on the outside to Reggie Wayne. Terrific pressure by Gary Stills, and that made Scott move up into the pocket. Nice job by the offensive line. They protected him enough. Left side of your screen. Watch Stills get around the tackle. 73 Gonzalez. That forces Covington up into the pocket. Then he steps in and throws a dart to the outside. Just a corner route by Reggie Wayne. He had enough presence to know where the sticks were. First down Canes.
I think Scott Covington has shown this season that if you give him time, he can be a very effective quarterback. This one thrown between Reggie Wayne and Santana Moss and incomplete. And that looked to be some confusion on the pattern there.
Yeah, they wanted to actually, it's like a rub route. One receiver from the outside running a quick slant, the other one going out into the flat. Really, they rounded off their cuts, and it was a bad play from the get-go.
2nd and 10 Hurricanes with 1 minute 14 to go first half. As you look at Santana Moss, 7 touchdowns this season. Been quiet so far today, save for that one reverse where he picked up 25 yards. Covington to throw. Blitz coming and incomplete as he threw it at the feet of Reggie Wayne at the 26-yard line. Charles Fisher had the coverage.
This offensive line needs to protect a little bit longer. The 2 plays in a row, Scott Covington had people around his knees and his ankles, and he can't really step into the throw. They have to change it up front because they're either missing people or they're just getting beat up front. You see the tackles, a lot of pressure. See the right there, you get into somebody, you get into the quarterback's legs. Barrett Green, that's a tough throw to stand in there time after time again, knowing you're going to have pressure in your face.
3rd and 10 for Miami. Covington stepping up.
Oh no.
They intercepted by Fisher. Somebody was in Scott's face, and he threw the pick. Only his 2nd of the year. Fisher still going. Finally upended by Edgerrin James at the West Virginia 42-yard line. So again, disastrous results for Miami after great field position.
That time Scott really just trying to get the ball outside. I don't think he saw anybody, as you said, Frank, pressure in the presence of Scott Covington. The offensive line, 3 plays in a row, did not provide enough protection for Covington, and that time it hurts Miami. They turned the football over through the interception. Take a look here in the middle of your screen. Looks like he has enough time, but there's a lot of faces, and Gary Still put a lot of pressure on the outside, and it's thrown right to the hands of Charles Fisher, number 4, the cornerback. He's a senior, and let's see what the Mountaineers can do with the turnover.
With 59 seconds to go in the first half, Bulger on the rollout and a pass behind Saunders, and he couldn't make the one-handed catch. Al Blades had the coverage. So Miami has started their last 2 possessions at the West Virginia 42 and at the West Virginia 2 of the last 3, excuse me, at the West Virginia 42 and the West Virginia 47, and have come away with a block punt and an interception on both those possessions. And if they lose this game eventually, they're going to look back on that and rue those opportunities. Much like last season when they were up 17-7 and at a 1st and 10 at the West Virginia 20, and Edgerrin James threw an interception on a halfback pass in the end zone. They had a chance to put West Virginia away last year, and they didn't do it, and the Mountaineers won it in the 4th quarter. Inside. Shovel pass to Zeraway, and Nate Webster makes the tackle at the 50. A gain of 7 that looked like it could have been a lot more.
Now you know that running back Amos Zeraway has great speed. Take a look at Nate Webster. Wow, what a break on the football, and he catches Zeraway from behind. Just great athleticism in the middle of the football field by your linebackers. A shovel pass to the inside. Webster fights off the block and then gets the open field tackle.
Zeraway on the draw, got away from one man, has a first down. Webster and Morgan combine on the tackle at the Miami 40-yard line with 24 seconds left to go in the second quarter. And Dan Morgan a little bit slow getting up for Miami.
You can't have Dan Morgan on the carpet laying down because he's so vital to this Miami defense.
Dan Morgan, Miami's leading tackler, and indeed the leader in the Big East with 83 tackles coming into the game, 6 of those for losses, and they're looking at the right ankle.
He's in a lot of pain, too. That's a tough young man that plays linebacker for Miami. As you said, Frank, I believe 81 tackles right there. He leads the Big East, and he's had 12 games that he's had double-digit tackles in a row in succession. And just a great player, a young player. He's only a sophomore.
Going back to the play where Zeraway makes the run, and you see Morgan and Webster will combine on the tackle, and it's like Dan just gets the left ankle rolled up on. Make it the right ankle, excuse me. But West Virginia will have a first down at Miami's 40-yard line with 24 seconds to play. The Mountaineers lead at 24-17. Since Miami took that 17-14 lead, they have had 3 possessions where they've gone 3 and out. And so while, you know, last year I said they had a chance to put West Virginia away near the end of the first half, this year I wouldn't suggest that, but they certainly had an opportunity to take control of the ball game a little better. But the offense has not clicked the last 3 possessions. On first down from the shotgun, Bulger stepping up, going deep down the sideline and overthrows, as that time Mike Rumpf had good coverage on Pat Green.
Rump's got great speed to the outside, and I'd like to see him challenge more on the short routes, but you see all West Virginia try to go after him the last 2 times on fade routes. Mike's got great size, 6'2", 195. He's only a freshman. He'll get it done, and he's going to be a lot better in this second half than he was in the first half. And I think it's going to come with a little bit more confidence. After every play, he's gaining more game time experience. 2nd and 10 for the Mountaineers. 13 seconds now to go here in the second quarter. Again out of the shotgun. And 4 wide receivers in for West Virginia. Bulger again with time. Wide open. Middle, wide open. Corey Ivy at the 20. Ivy down inside the 15-yard line to the 12. Edward Reed and Mike Rumpf on the tackle, and West Virginia spends their last time out with 6 seconds to go in the first half. West Virginia's had a lot of success throwing down the middle of the football field over the top of Miami linebackers and before the secondary can break on the football. Left side of your screen, there's 3 receivers out there. Bulger takes a look down the football field and just zeroes in. He throws a strike between Al Blades, who's in as the nickel back. Corey Ivy breaks a tackle and then takes it inside the 15-yard line down to the 12. Ivy's the second receiver in the middle. Take a look where he goes. He goes right inside of Al Blades and just short of Nate Webster. Nate Webster was really far, had a deep coverage. He started about 20 yards back like a defensive back, but there was a lot of gaps in the Miami secondary. Credit Bulger for finding his receiver, Corey Ivy. Jay Taylor onto the field out of the hold of Zach Anglin. And this will be a 29-yard field goal attempt. Anglin with the hold, Taylor with the kick, and it is good. And with 2 seconds remaining in the first half, it is 24-17 West Virginia as Jay Taylor converts on the field goal, his 6th in 7 attempts so far this season. Well, John, Miami had an opportunity here in the first half when they were up 17-14 and the defense had made some stops, but as I said, 2 of the 3 drives starting in West Virginia territory, and they wound up with a block punt which led to a West Virginia touchdown and an interception on those 2 possessions. And again, if they go on and lose this game, they'll look back at those 2 possessions in particular here late in the second quarter as what turned the tide West Virginia's way. Well, Miami had an opportunity, as you said, Frank, to capitalize on turnovers and great field position. They gave the football right back to West Virginia, and Miami, to their credit, they hold West Virginia to a field goal at 24-17. But give the Canes credit. They've come back in the first half. They're going to have to do it again in the second half. Butch Davis, take a look at him on the sidelines. He's going to have to try to find a way for his offensive line to put a little bit of take some pressure off of Scott Covington and provide better protection to throw the football down the field. Well, one thing, John, that they did early in the game that they kind of got away from was throwing to the running backs. That's right. They had some screens which we haven't seen at all in the first 5 games. They found a way to run the football successfully behind Mercier and Hall on that counter play to the outside. They haven't done that either.
Well, I would like to see Miami go to the running backs a little bit more in the passing game, and that would negate some of that pass rush, because all you're asking the back to do is get a little chip block on that rush end and then flare out, and Scott should be able to get the ball to him. They did it very well in the first quarter, but got away from it. Taylor will run it on the ground and into the end zone, so it'll be a touchback and no time off the clock since nobody touched it legally in play. So Miami will have it at the 20 with 2 seconds left to go in the second quarter, and I can't imagine that they would do anything foolish with them receiving the second half kickoff.
Yeah, just probably take a knee and go to the house down 24-17. Try to regroup on offense. I think the offensive line needs to take a look at what they're doing that was successful in the first quarter, and now West Virginia really turning the tide, turning up the pressure in the second quarter.
Look at Butch Davis in his 4th year at the University of Miami. And certainly has had some ups and downs, battling against the probation, which he knew was going to be there when he took the job. But it used to be Miami dominated the Big East in the early years, but lately Syracuse and, of course, West Virginia have come on, along with Virginia Tech. And Covington will take a knee to end the first half. So at the end of 30 minutes of play here in Morgantown, it is the homestanding Mountaineers 24 and the Miami Hurricanes 17. We'll be back with our halftime activities, highlights, and stats right after this on Sports Channel.
Something big is happening. Introducing the new Silverado. It's bigger. It's the truck from Chevrolet.
What's the easiest way to win Super Bowl 33 tickets? Join the Dolphin Club. By joining the official fan club of the Miami Dolphins, you're automatically entered to win. In addition, all 4 levels of the club have new merchandise and collectibles that every fan will enjoy, including the Dolphins Fight Song CD, Dan Marino coin, school notebook, checkbook cover, and much more. The orange level even has private meetings with coaches and players. Don't be left on the sideline. To join, call 800-334-4005, 800-334-4005.
Here at halftime, Frank Fort on Sports Channel, joined now by the University of Miami's faculty representative to the athletic department, Dr. Clyde McCoy. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you, Frank.
You're a native of this part of the country. You grew up in the Appalachian Hills, did you not?
That's right. I'm one of the original real McCoys.
And that is your family tree, the descendancy, the Hatfield McCoy feud.
Yeah, my great-great-grandfather was the first casualty of the feud.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let's talk a little bit about your role as faculty representative. Exactly what does that entail?
Each Division 1A school has a representative from the faculty that oversees the athletic department and gives advice to the president and to the athletic department.
And that's all part of institutional control, is it not?
That is. And we're responsible for not only institutional control, but looking at academic integrity, physical integrity, and then looking at equity issues throughout the department.
And is in your role as a university professor and doctor, you do some fascinating work. You've been involved in medical research for over 20 years. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, thank you, Frank. I have probably the most interesting job in the world. I get to work with a fantastic athletic department, but I'm also involved in some of the most exciting research going on in the world. I do cancer, HIV, and substance abuse research from Miami all the way to China. And we've established one of the model programs for breast cancer screening. We put a mobile mammography van out to primary health care centers, and we've screened over 40,000 women in Miami, most of whom would not have been screened without our program at the medical school.
Certainly you do great work with the medical school, but I know you're a huge sports fan. You make pretty much all the football trips, and tell us about your other interests in sports as far as maybe the baseball or basketball team.
Well, I'm the MD of the faculty. I am a real fan of the Hurricanes. I've missed one home game in 25 years and haven't missed too many of the away games. But what I'm most proud of is watching the meteoric rise of not only our athletic program, but our academic program. When I came to Miami almost 25 years ago, we were truly suntan U. Now our medical school is second largest in the country, and we're among the top 3% in the research that we do. And everybody knows about our athletic record, and of course today starts our rise back to the top in athletics.
We hope so, and if it's risen as far as the academics have risen, especially in the area you work with in the cancer and AIDS research, it'll certainly be on track. Dr. McCoy, thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Good to have you with us. Dr. Clyde McCoy, the university's faculty representative. We'll be back with more halftime activities. We'll have highlights and stats right after this from Morgantown here on Sports Channel.
When you want information about the Jaguars, Dolphins, and Buccaneers, you have to turn to Sports Channel Florida. Sports Channel has the best coverage of Florida's NFL teams on Sunday Morning NFL, presented by AutoNation USA. Sports Channel's experts give a fresh perspective about what's going on with the teams you care about. Broadcast live from one of Florida's 3 NFL home cities, Sunday Morning NFL is right in the middle of the action. Tune to Sunday Morning NFL, presented by AutoNation USA, every Sunday at 10 a.m. on Sports Channel's Sunday Morning Playbook.
It's coming. The FedEx Orange Bowl at Pro Player Stadium.
Ball's up in the air. Touchdown!
Top college teams will battle it out in the Bowl Championship Series. Great club seats and stadium seats are still available. Call 305-373-4622 or your local Ticketmaster. 373-4622.
This season, Sports Channel TV home for the Florida Panthers' entire 82-game season. From the pregame drama to the drop of the puck, the overtime battles to postgame interviews.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Sports Channel Florida delivers the action. Catch all 82 Panthers games on Sports Channel Florida, because it's more than a game.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, West Virginia, where the Mountaineers hold a 24-17 halftime lead over the Miami Hurricanes. I'm Frank Fort along with John Congemi. John, a wild first half offensively, much in contrast to the game up here 2 years ago where Miami won 10-7, a defensive struggle, but both offenses have been in pretty high gear, particularly West Virginia with the passing game. And as we take a look at our highlight package, West Virginia got off to a great start, scored the first 2 times they had the football.
Bulger's done a terrific job moving that Mountaineer team through the air, and he did it, and he started out by rolling out, changing it up a little bit. A great play fake. He breaks contain. The defense has to stay in coverage, but they're not sure if they can come up and cover him. He finds a receiver in the end zone, Saunders, for the first touchdown, and the Mountaineers go on top.
They led 7-0, and then they led 7-3. The second time they had the ball, Sean Foreman working one-on-one the fade route against Nate Brooks.
Just a perfect ball. He put enough air under the football. The receiver can go up and get it. The Miami defender, Brooks, doesn't turn around quick enough, and it's a touchdown for the Mountaineers.
That gave West Virginia a 14-3 lead. Things looking bleak for Miami. However, the Canes did come back to cut it to 14-10, and then Edger and James with a tremendous 10-yard touchdown.
Just great second effort and third effort. Breaking arm tacklers, fighting to get into the end zone for the Hurricanes, and it looked like they were going to take control of the football game.
And with a 17-14 lead for Miami, the key play of the first half comes on a block punt by David Carter, number 7.
Something you just can't afford to do in a tight ball game. They gave them the opportunity on special teams. Miami did. West Virginia capitalized. They go in and stick it in the end zone for a touchdown, and they took control the second quarter.
So West Virginia up 24-17. Miami coming away with a block punt and an interception on 2 possessions which started inside West Virginia territory. That's the difference right now. Miami had a chance to get a pretty decent handle on the game, but they did not do that. Let's take a look at the numbers from the first half. Not much in the way of rushing yards for either team, although James and Zeraway are having pretty good days, but the passing yardage, Mark Bulger is just tearing apart that young Miami secondary.
That's the difference in the football game right now. I think on the outside, Bulger finding the 3 receivers that he has in Ivy, Saunders, and Foreman, doing a nice job. 3 sacks by the defense. Those all came in the second quarter. And then time of possession, West Virginia, they took the first 2 drives and really ate up the clock. Just a mismatch in time of possession. Miami needs to get back into this football game. The offensive line needs to protect a little bit better in the second half, giving Covington time to throw the football.
And conversely, Miami's got to figure out a way to get some type of pressure on Mark Bulger. We'll be back with the second half kickoff from Mountaineer Field in Morgantown. It's West Virginia 24, Miami 17. Back with third quarter action right after this.
Dodge Durango 101. Today, I'll be covering the 5.2 and 5.9 liter Magnum V8 vis-a-vis Durango's superiority in the class structure of domestic compact sport utility vehicles. You're not listening. You're just staring at the Durango, aren't you? Aren't you? Why do I even bother? I don't know. I'm just standing up here like a big doofus.
Do you believe the old way of buying gas is dead? We do. Speed Pass from Mobil. It's the fastest way to get gas. Just wave it past the pump. And like magic, you're gone. Speed Pass, only at Mobil, lets you take wing.
I believe I can fly.
University of Miami football on Sports Channel is being brought to you in part by your South Florida Chevrolet dealers. Chevy's got something for you. By Hip Health Plan of Florida. So where do you get your health care? And by Pro Player Sports Apparel. You have a life, look good in it. A beautiful day for football in Morgantown, West Virginia. You've seen some of the foliage and just very pleasant temperatures in the 60s. Although as the sun goes down, it's going to get a little chillier here in the second half. Jay Taylor kicks it off for the Mountaineers to begin the third quarter, and James Jackson will take a knee in the end zone. Miami will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. John Kangemi, 302 yards in offense for West Virginia in that first half. And that is what Miami has got to figure out a way to put a stop to. And also the offensive line, as you mentioned, they've surrendered 3 sacks in the first half against Scott Covington. And one pressure led to an interception as Stills basically jackknifed Covington and forced him into a poor throw.
I think Stills getting a little bit more confidence. He's been out for 4 games now. He's been a dominant force in the second quarter. Let's see if they can contain him. The offensive tackles have to find a way to stop number 55.
1st and 10 Miami. James, the lone running back, as the Canes go with 2 tight ends, Fulcher and Franks. And James with the ball, has a hole across the 25 and out close to the 30-yard line. Should be about a foot shy of a first down as Damon Cogdell, the middle linebacker out of Miami, making the tackle. Cogdell actually went to Miramar High School, but lists Miami as his hometown. Edger and James picking up 10 yards, nearly 10 yards on that first carry, and that's what Miami has to get back to, is running the football, because they were successful through about the first quarter and a half. James with 13 carries now for 81 yards. It's second and about the length of the football. Fulcher motioning. James again trying to go to the corner. Will have the first down. And he's run out of bounds by Gary Stills at the 32-yard line. So a gain of only about 2 yards, but it is a first down for Miami.
I like what Miami's trying to do. They're trying to flex their muscle a little bit in the second half. Come out, go 2 tight ends, and try to really control the football. Get back to that time of possession. We saw the lopsided total in the first half. Miami running the ball twice to the right side, using Edger and James behind the tight end. Bubba Franks doing a nice job on the first 2 plays of the second half.
First down Canes, just underway, third quarter. 50 seconds elapsed. Miami trailing by a touchdown. Covington has to look off his initial receiver, finds Fulcher, the tight end, at the 38.
Oh, look at that move!
Mondrell Fulcher down the sideline, shoved out of bounds by Gary Tompkins at the West Virginia 32-yard line. A big gain for Miami as they move it into West Virginia territory once again.
They found the tight end, Frank, and really by accident they wanted to move the football down the field to one of the wide receivers on the quick slant. Covington buys some time, and he sees his tight end, Mondrell Fulcher, standing out there by himself. What a move right here on Davis. Number 2, Porter, Jerry Porter, they were really standing still, and then he shows you the speed for a big guy. Mondrell Fulcher is 6'3", 245 pounds, and he went down the sideline like a tailback.
36 yards on the completion from Covington to Fulcher. James with a nice cut. Edgerin trying to get around the corner and cannot escape Charles Fisher. But he does get down to the 23-yard line. Jerry Porter, rather, on the tackle for West Virginia. As Edgerin thought he saw a touchdown on that one, and that's why he bumped it outside. Did pick up a nice gain on first down.
Well, that was nice vision by James, going immediately to his right side. Had a lot of room. It was a foot race out to the outside, and Porter ended up finally dragging James down, but not until he gains 9 yards on Miami's first down.
And second and short. See if the Canes take a shot at the end zone here with a 2nd and 1.
They have press coverage to do it.
Fulcher in motion.
They'll try to get the first down with Edgerrin James, trying to outrace Tompkins to the corner, and does get the first down. Barrett Green helping out on the tackle. Again, a short gain of only about 2.5 yards, but it does move the chains to near the 20-yard line.
Miami staying with the ground game. They had the one nice pass on the outside. It looks like a harmless pass, but they're staying with James in this offensive line. I think they're going to try to slow down the pass rush by really getting on top of that West Virginia front four and trying to make the line win the battle running the football.
1st and 10 at the West Virginia 20. Opening possession of the second half. 13-11 to play, third quarter. Miami now with Santana Moss rather in motion as they go with the eye in the backfield. James with the football. Stutter stepping in the hole. Barrett Green and Kevin Landolt making the tackle after a pickup of close to 3. We'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Miami making a statement coming out of the locker room, and Butch Davis must have had some inspiring words for that offensive line because they're doing a nice job really controlling that front of the Mountaineers. They have to keep it up, though. They need a touchdown. They really don't want to settle for a field goal here.
James on the verge of a 100-yard day. Williams and James again the running backs. As West Virginia overshifts the defense to the strong side. Covington on the out pattern. Reggie Wayne inside the 10. Shoved out of bounds by Perlo Bastine inside the 10-yard line, but again a Miami first down.
Nice call, nice pass, and nice catch on the outside. I think that's there when they want to take it, just as West Virginia was doing that on the outside to Mike Rump on the out on the quick hitch. Scott Covington has the same opportunity against the West Virginia cornerbacks. Looks like he's just coming back 3 steps. It takes the pressure off the lineman to block for a very small amount of time, and they get the ball outside to Reggie Wayne or Santana Moss, and it's a first down.
1st and goal. Double tight into the top of the screen. Now Fulcher in motion. James trying to get to the corner and cannot. He'll go down at the 11-yard line. John Thornton, number 96, along with Barrett Green, making the tackle and a loss of 3 on first down. And again, John, that's not the kind of play you can afford on a first down.
No, you don't want to lose ground on first down, but credit John Thornton, 6'3", 300-pound senior, along with Barrett Green, number 33, the weak side linebacker. They really stretched that play out and made it a successful defensive stand on first down.
Place it at the 10-yard line, loss of 2. 2nd and goal for Miami.
If I'm Miami, I take a shot up top. You got one-on-one, man-to-man coverage.
Covington. End zone. Franks overthrew him just a little bit off the hands of Bubba Franks, who had 2 Mountaineers on him. And it would have been a tough throw and a tough catch. Bubba just couldn't hang on.
He might have had 3 Mountaineers, Frank. I don't know. There was a lot of blue jerseys in the back of the end zone. It looked like the fullback was open, Nick Williams. No one with Nick Williams in the flat. Really a bad decision by Scott. He tried to get it and take it and maybe be a little bit greedy, but you have to give the football to Nick Williams in that situation and maybe get you down inside the 5-yard line.
And Bubba Franks threw 5.5 games with only 3 catches, 2 of those for touchdowns. And again, we say it every week, Miami's got to find a way to get him the ball more. They tried on that last play, just off the fingertips. On 3rd down, blitz coming. Flips it out to James at the 10. Gets a great block from Andre King, and it's a touchdown for the Hurricanes.
As a receiver, you got to try to contribute. If you're not going to get the ball thrown your way, what else can you do? And that right there, Andre King, what a super block and presence. And you see Scott Covington had enough time and patience. They were coming after him, the top of your screen. It looked like number 41, Chris Edmonds, was untouched, and he just had to hold the football long enough for Edgerrin to turn around. Watch the block right there, just a great block on number 3, Perlo Bastine, and that gets the Canes into the end zone.
James' 3rd touchdown of the day, 2 rushing, 1 receiving. Popovich to hold for Crossland. Kick is up, and it is good. And Miami opens the second half with a 80-yard touchdown drive. 11 minutes, 43 seconds to go, third quarter, and we are all tied up. We're starting over. It's 24 for Miami, 24 for West Virginia, back at Mountaineer Field in Morgantown right after this.
Hey.
Sports Channel Florida has your ticket to all the excitement of college football. Tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. for Saturday morning college kickoff. Your pregame guide to the hottest college matchups. It's all right here on Sports Channel Florida. Well, the Hurricanes coming away with a touchdown on the opening drive of the second half as Todd Severs will kick it off. Antonio Brown, number 5, and Jerry Porter, number 2, back to receive for the Mountaineers. Severs, the freshman from Iowa, handling the kickoff chores today. We are in a wild one, 24-24. West Virginia has played a lot of high-scoring games. This is a short kick coming down to Porter at the 15.
Porter trying to get to the corner, slips out of one tackle, and down he goes at the 24-yard line. Jeff Popovich and Chris Campbell making the tackle on the Miami special teams. Campbell, the true freshman out of Mount Pleasant, Texas, listed as the backup will linebacker, and also plays a lot on special teams. So the Mountaineers under Mark Bulger will start 1st and 10 at their 24-yard line. A look at the quarterback comparison, and Bulger outstanding in that first half with 3 touchdown passes. That bumps his total up on the year to 15 touchdowns, and with the 1 pick, he now has 3 interceptions. So that's a 5-to-1 ratio, and I don't know any coach on this third lock from the Sun that won't take that.
That's perfect. Both these guys really know how to protect the football, although they've given up 1 to each defense.
Saunders in motion out of the 4 wide receiver set. The toss to Zeraway. Cuts back inside, cutting back against the grain. Michael Smith runs him down at the 30-yard line. Pickup of 6 as Zeraway saw nothing on the outside and made a nice cutback.
Really did it all by himself. There was no running room to the outside. Zeraway saw that, cut back to the inside, and the speed really was the only thing that held him back from getting a bigger gain by Michael Smith. Watch the defensive front. Ham on the outside, really stretching the play. Zeraway cuts it back. You see the pursuit of hips. He misses from the backside, but the relentless pressure from the linebacking core, Michael Smith, Nate Webster, and Dan Morgan, they've done it all day. That time Smith on the tackle.
Again with the eye in the backfield, and Zeraway has the football. Cannot get away from Nate Webster. No gain on the play. Webster helped out by Michael Smith. And Nate Webster and Amos Zeraway have run into each other quite a bit this afternoon.
They've done it. They have. Nate Webster, you see, Zeraway, 72 yards on 20 rushes. And as you said, Frank, Nate Webster, they've met in the hole and around in the open field. They've done a nice job today, both for their respective offense and defensive teams. But the linebacking core, as I said in the beginning, that was going to be the key. Can they make the tackle, the open field tackle on Zeraway, and can they stop the passing of Bulger?
Again, 4 wideouts in the formation. The quick flip to the outside, caught by Ivy. Edward Reed missed the tackle. Ivy brought down by Webster, and he's going to be short of a first down. Boy, Edward Reed had that play smelled out for a loss. Ivy avoided him, but the pursuit of Webster prevented the first down.
Yeah, that's the 4th or 5th time they've run that play, or that version of that play, and you see an ISO on Webster. He sees it. He immediately runs to the outside, and Frank, he's got great speed to get there in time to keep the West Virginia offense a yard short of the first down.
That's a good example of why you never stop running as a defensive player. It's one of your teammates in position to make a play, but the missed tackle occurs. If you're not hustling, it's a first down. Nate Webster hustled. Jay Taylor to kick it away with Edward Reed standing back at his 25-yard line. That is a rocket. Reed forced back to his 11, and he doesn't have a whole lot of help, and down he goes. Beautiful coverage by Charles Fisher on the West Virginia special teams. Miami will start 1st and 10 from their own 13-yard line. Charles Fisher, number 4, Lightcap 35, helped out, but it was Fisher who made that initial hit. And a beautiful punt by Jay Taylor of the Mountaineers. Taylor, one of the better dual guys in America. That is a place kicker / punter who does both, and he does it probably as well as anyone. We'll take a break here in Morgantown. 9:28 to go, third quarter. It's Miami 24, West Virginia 24.
Get lucky at Hollywood Seminole Gaming. Hollywood Seminole Gaming in the heart of Broward County brings Vegas to your backyard. Every day, 24 hours a day and 364 days a year. You can play poker or take a free lesson. And we have 4 sessions of bingo every day. There's tons of cash and prizes to be won. Stop by Hollywood Seminole Gaming today. Feeling lucky?
I'd like a wireless phone.
Come here. Free phone if you sign up today, plus a zillion free minutes. Off-peak only, after a monthly service charge, which I change at will.
Sign here. What's this?
You're indebted to me forever, yada, yada, yada.
A contract?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
At OmniPoint, we have no contract to sign and no hidden charges. So there's nothing to be afraid of.
Look, I'm going to let you keep your firstborn.
OmniPoint. Clear sound, straight deal.
For custom-tailored wireless, call 1-800-BUY-OMNI.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie. Watch Saturday morning college kickoff every Saturday right here on Sports Channel Florida.
Basketball fans, it's time to get on board and order your season tickets now. Both the Canes men's and women's teams went to the NCAA tournament last year. See great Big East basketball action at a great price. Call 305-284-CANES or 1-800-GO-CANES for tickets today. And as part of that package, Miami has, the men's have a Big East mini plan, 5 games, 5 Big East games for a very affordable price. And Leonard Hamilton's team should be pretty good this year. They expect to go back to the tournament. They made it once, and they think they can go back again. Tim James, Mario Bland, and company. Right now, we're focusing on football as Miami starts 1st and 10 from their 14-yard line in a tie game. James straight ahead, trying to get around the corner, and will pick up about 2 yards before he's run out of bounds. Gary Tompkins, the safety, and Kevin Landolt, the defensive end, combining on the tackle as James got 2 or 3. Bring up 2nd and long. Gary Tompkins out of Monsignor Pace in Miami, originally signed with the Hurricanes, but then it was discovered that he was under investigation for assault. Allegedly went after somebody with a baseball bat, and so Miami rescinded the scholarship. He surfaced here at West Virginia, has had some problems here as well with some DUI arrests, but they say this season Gary's kept his nose clean and he is a starter at safety for West Virginia. Tremendous athlete. On 2nd and 7, play fake to James. Covington down the middle. Reggie Wayne makes the catch at the 41-yard line. Perlo Bastine had the coverage, but Miami will have a first down.
Scott Covington must be sick of seeing Gary Stills, because every time he sees him, he's looking up from the carpet and saying, hey, Gary, how about helping me up? But that time had enough poise in the pocket to throw the football downfield and wait for the double break of Reggie Wayne. It really took a long time to develop the post pattern, but he had enough presence to stay there, be patient enough, and drilled it down the middle. Big play for the Canes. Gets the ball up to the 41-yard line.
24 yards on the completion. Fulcher in motion, the tight end. Give back the other way to James, hit in the hole by Barrett Green, and then Stills there to finish him off. It's a gain of only a yard. By the way, Santana Moss has not caught a pass yet in this game. He has carried one time on a reverse for a 15-yard gain, but West Virginia has kept the football away from Santana Moss as we have a Hurricane down.
It looked like Joaquin Gonzalez, I believe, number 73, the right tackle, the freshman for the Canes,
holding that left elbow. Joaquin awarded a football scholarship prior to the season. He was on academic scholarship to the University of Miami, a brilliant student out of Columbus High School in Miami, and had offers to go to Ivy League schools, also to Wake Forest, some very good academic schools. Chose to walk on at Miami. Dr. John Uribe and Scott McGonigal, the head trainer. Doc Uribe on the right in the warm-up jacket, Scott McGonigal in the other warm-up jacket facing you with his head kind of obscured right now. But,
we know that's him.
We know that's Scott. And they're working on Joaquin Gonzalez. Take another look at Gonzalez, the right tackle toward the bottom of the screen.
He hurt his elbow. Now let's see right there. It looked like it was really no contact. He might have just strained his elbow. He might have got it pinned when he was trying to push the defensive lineman down towards the middle of the line of scrimmage. But you can't afford to have injuries up on that offensive line, especially with Miami now back in a tie game 24-24. They were going to the 2 tight end type offense to try to swell up and really control the football against West Virginia and take it down and score. So let's hope he's not as hurt as bad as it seems.
Yeah, again, it didn't look like any significant contact, maybe just a hyperextension. But that is all speculation right now. They will help Joaquin to his feet, and you can see he's holding that left elbow up toward his midsection. So we will check on Joaquin. Dan Morgan went out in the first half with a sprained ankle, but they expect him to play here in the second half. Edger and James so far 20 carries for 99 yards and a couple of rushing touchdowns. Also has caught a pass for a touchdown. 2nd and 9 upcoming for Butch Davis's Hurricanes with 8 minutes and 37 seconds and the clock moving here in the third quarter in a tie football game at Morgantown. From the Canes 42, that's Darrell Jones in motion. And whistle stopped this play. Flag thrown by the head linesman on the far side of the field. Robert Sampson, number 76, in to replace Gonzalez at right tackle.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
And I think it might have been Robert Hall, the left tackle, at the top of the, what would be the top of your screen, because the flag came from the head linesman on that side. So that moves it from a 2nd and 9 to a 2nd and 14. And again, West Virginia is good enough on the pass rush that you don't want to be in a lot of these situations.
No, you can't be, and that's where Miami was successful in that first drive. They really controlled the football on 1st and 2nd down. Now West Virginia in a position where they could try to put pressure on Scott Covington.
Covington, 3-step drop. Going for the tight end Franks, complete up to the 45-yard line. Gary Tompkins along with Damon Cogdill on the tackle, but a good completion, 7 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6. So Miami not taking a long developing play, anticipating that pass rush.
Yeah, and they did a good job. That was a heck of a throw by Covington. There were 3 blue jerseys. He really, a small window to get the football and fit the football into that area. Nice job by Bubba Franks to concentrate on the football coming down. Now they're in a 3rd and 6. See what happens on 3rd down. Maybe move the pocket a little bit, take some pressure off of Covington.
Wide receivers both set to the bottom of the screen. Nick Williams in motion. Covington will roll to the right side. Covington fires. Reggie Wayne made the catch at the 48 of West Virginia. And depending on the spot, he should have a first down.
I think it's enough for a first down, Frank, by about a half a yard. Nice patience by Reggie Wayne. He had to wait for the traffic to get away from him to clear, and Scott Covington held on to the football. Watch to the outside. Covington really has to hold the football a little bit longer, trying to point the direction of where he wanted the receiver, Reggie Wayne, to come to. Nice hands. Most receivers catch with their bodies, it seems like, but this is a great hand catch. Watch this. He picks it off right off the carpet, and it's a first down for the Canes.
Great catch by Reggie Wayne. 6 catches today, 80 yards for the sophomore from Marrero, Louisiana. The All-Big East Rookie of the Year last season. From the West Virginia 48, James run down on the backside. Gary Stills showing his ability and holding James to a gain of 2. Stills unblocked on that play as the motion of the play was going away for him, but that tremendous speed enabled him to catch up.
You have to be aware of where Gary Stills is, especially he may be more dangerous away from the point of attack because of his speed. He can close down, and usually he's not blocked. They're going to say the play should hit before Gary Stills can get there. Well, at 6'2", 235, he has enough speed to break down the line of scrimmage and make that play.
That's somebody you always got to get a pad on every play. Again, Stills shot out of that pass rush over the middle, complete to Franks. Got away from Tompkins, and Bubba Franks down to the 22-yard line where Scooter Davis made the tackle. But boy, Gary Stills just explodes off the line of scrimmage.
Scott Covington, terrific throw, and as you said, Frank, had a lot of duress coming from his left side. He just stepped up into the pocket enough to get away from the pressure. The right side, look at Stills come around Hall, number 77, and a great job by Edgerrin James really pitching off. Just a super throw, and again, great concentration by the tight end, Bubba Franks, down the middle. He's such a big target at 6'6". I love seeing the tight ends catch the football.
We talk about it just about every game. Fulcher in motion. That time I think Stills jumped as James gets the call and gets about 3 yards, but flags will come down, and that time Gary Stills jumped. In the first half, Butch Davis, we showed a play where Stills exploded off and seemed to be in the neutral zone, and Miami didn't get the flag, and Butch Davis was saying, www.whatsupwiththat.com.
Somebody help me. Yeah, they caught him that time. Frank.
Offside the call on Stills, so march off 5 against the Mountaineers, and it'll be 1st and 5.
Looks like maybe fatigue may be setting in too. Now Stills has been out for about 4 games. This is the first game back since dislocating his kneecap
Offside.
Against Ohio State.
Defense. 5 yard. Repeat, first down.
Again, he hasn't played since September 5th, so it's nearly a 2-month layoff, and I don't care how much running you do or how much lifting you do, there's nothing like game shape. It's just a different thing. So 1st and 5 for Miami. You see the time remaining in the 3rd quarter. From the Mountaineers 17. Fulcher in motion. Covington to throw. Looking for his tight end, Fulcher, and this play will get just about nothing as Scooter Davis makes the tackle immediately. No gain on the completion to Fulcher.
Credit Pirlo Bastion on the corner. He really never let Reggie Wayne come in on the quick slant, and he really blocked the timing of the pattern. It was going to be a quick slant with a diagonal route by the tight end. Covington has to take the shorter pass and really a tougher throw going into the outside for a minimal gain.
Call it a gain of 2, just shy of the 15-yard line. They gave him a pretty good spot on that. And it's 3rd, and call it 3. Miami has to make the 12-yard line. James. Thurston has him, and he's going to be shy of the first down by about a yard. Thornton on the bottom of the pile. And Mark Thurston, the freshman out of Miami, 20 tackles coming into the game. 4 of those for losses, 2 sacks. And Butch Davis has a decision to make.
Well, I think with the penalty, though, that might have been 2nd down.
I beg your pardon. That is correct. That was a 2nd down play after the penalty on the 1st down play on Stills. So they're still going to measure for the first down. But it looks to me like they're about a half-yard short. What's your guess, John?
I think they're short. Yeah, I do. I don't think they gave him a very good spot when he stretched the football over at the last second. Edgerrin should came up about a half football short.
Oh, my eagle-eye partner right on it again. That's why he makes all those 20-foot putts.
Yeah, that's right.
It's those eyes.
I have good football eyes. The golf I don't know about sometimes. Well, third down. Now it's a chance for Miami to bring in an extra tight end, see if they can really get up and blow West Virginia off the line of scrimmage. If they win the battle at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, they could really get into the end zone and make this game uncomfortable for West Virginia.
Third down and a half yard, just outside the West Virginia 12. Double tight end in the eye in the backfield. And Covington keeps it and should have enough for the first down. Well, Scott Covington at 6'2", 220 pounds.
You always give it to your big back, right?
That's right. And we talked about how much Scott has gained strength-wise in the past year and a half.
That's right. I forget who was saying. Maybe you were saying the story, Frank, that you were talking with Butch Davis, and a year ago Scott wouldn't walk around without his shirt off around the summer weight room, and this year he was.
He never had a shirt on.
He never had a shirt on.
He was all buffed up.
That's good. Well, I tell you what, he needs to be. After the duress he's been under, especially by Gary Stills, that's a strong young man. He's got a rifle for a right arm and a nice first down for the Hurricane offense.
Ball just inside the 12, 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. Covington fumbles the snap, and I think Nick Williams got it back. Well, that's the second time that's happened on a first down.
You know, and it's been on an early count on the first down, and sometimes it's tough to hear when you get down in close to the end zones, especially at West Virginia in this stadium. It really a large crowd, and Scott Covington really wasn't prepared to take the snap. His hands weren't under center, and that's a miscommunication they really have to clear up. That's the second time, and luckily it's the second time they got the football back.
Covington 15 out of 20, 226 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Pitch to James. James gets a good block from Williams inside the 10, run out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Scooter Davis, the cornerback out of Temple Hills, Maryland, a junior, making the tackle. And that'll bring up 3rd and about 4 for Miami.
I like the play, the toss play to the short side. Edgerrin going downhill right away. That's the key. Trying to get a body on a body to the outside. Edgerrin trying to get it to the outside, but just ran out of room. Take a look, Frank, on this play. I want to see if the tight end is involved. It doesn't look like Bubba's going to the wide side. I thought they have a double tight end. Like to see the tight end try to sneak into the end zone for a touchdown here.
3rd and 4 for the Hurricanes. Covington, fade route, overthrew Reggie Wayne. He got held up on the bump, and Scott anticipated him being further into the end zone.
Good point, Frank. On the outside, it looked like the cornerback and wide receiver really had a collision at the line of scrimmage. The ball was already in the air, and Reggie Wayne could not run under it. That's a golden opportunity missed, but a nice drive by the offense. They did a good job of controlling the football, controlling the clock. Now they need to convert on the field goal.
See Reggie talking to Scott saying, I had him beat. I had the touchdown. If Scott would have held the ball a half a second longer. Now from the 14-yard line, a 24-yard field goal try by Andy Crossland. Hold by Popovich. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So Miami, with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the third quarter, has regained the lead on a 24-yard field goal by Andy Crossland. It's Miami 27, West Virginia 24. We'll be back right after this on Sports Channel.
Log on and get linked. SportsChannelFlorida.com is your ticket on the World Wide Web that gets you linked to all your favorite Sports Channel teams. Get linked at SportsChannelFlorida.com. Check out all the exciting info on all our teams. See what's on TV. Send email to our announcers. Get up-to-date scores through CNNSI. Get linked. Pro, college, high school sports. It's all there at SportsChannelFlorida.com. Log on and get linked today. The Red Wings come to town Wednesday night against the Panthers at 7 p.m.
Back at Morgantown, West Virginia, a packed house today as the Mountaineers taking on the Miami Hurricanes in a Big East battle. And the Hurricanes have scored 10 points here in the third quarter to grab a 27-24 lead. They trailed it 24-17 as Todd Severs will kick it off. Antonio Brown back deep to receive, along with Sean Foreman now, number 16. It's one of those games, John, where every possession is important. Kick from Severs. Heading Brown's way at the 3. ground with some room. And tripped up across the 30-yard line. Todd Sievers in on the tackle. Flag back at the 21 of West Virginia.
Flag on the play.
So it was a good return out to the 34, but we'll check out the call from Jack Kramer.
Looks like they're bringing it back. At least the Jack Kramer's telling everybody to come on back here, guys.
Come on back. It's like he's got the garbage truck. Come on back. Back it up.
Illegal block in the back. Return team. 10-yard penalty. Spot of the foul. First down.
And the spot of the foul was about the 22-yard line, so they're going to march it back inside the 15. And Don Nealon shaking his head. Butch Davis trying to urge his defense on. You see the time of possession as Miami has certainly closed that gap with 2 long drives here in the third quarter. 1 for a touchdown, 1 for a field goal after they stalled at the West Virginia 6. West Virginia opens with the 3 wide receiver formation. And Mark Bulger with Anthony Green and Amos Zeraway in the backfield. Fake to Zeraway. Bulger under some pressure, throws outside, caught by Corey Ivy out at the 33-yard line. Well, the defensive back went for the interception, and the ball just floated over his head.
That's a great throw, Frank, because number 20, Edward Reed, was in perfect position. Bulger saw that. He tried to gamble, and he put some touch on this ball to get it over the defender. Take a look. He just led him up the field. That's a perfect throw and great concentration by Ivy. Knowing where he is, he got a foot clearly inbounds, and it's a great play on first down for the Mountaineer offense.
21-yard gain. Reed looked like he was anticipating a hard throw, and instead Bulger lofted it. So from the Mountaineer 33, Bulger to the outside quickly. Foreman wide open again. Mike Rump is playing so far off Sean Foreman, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, especially in zone coverage, the cornerback, Frank, he could look in at the quarterback to see really when to anticipate the throw. Rump is playing too far off, and I thought they'd make that adjustment at halftime and really have him challenge some more, but evidently they're not on zone coverage.
Pickup of 11, first down out to the 44-yard line. As Mark Bulger continues to pile up the passing yardage. 260 yards passing for Mark Bulger. See the time remaining in the third quarter. Miami leading by 3. West Virginia with 3 wide receivers now to the bottom of the screen in the 4 wide out package. And the give to Zeraway on the draw, and he's buried. Michael Burrow and Nate Webster combining on the tackle. It's a loss of a yard.
And he beat the tackle inside. That was the key. Nice job on the outside by Michael Burrow, just using his speed on the outside to cross the tackle's face and come down and make a big play for the Canes on first down. Just a draw play to Zeraway. Looks like he wants a block, but there's no running room to the inside. Take a look at that. Great tackle from behind. Michael Burrow, he has 2 tackles for a loss on the season. Make it 3 now.
2nd and 11, Mountaineers. Again with the 3 wide out package. Bulger fakes to Zeraway. Miami coming with some pressure. Pass is caught by Ivy. Tackle by Edward Reed at the Miami 43, but that is a Mountaineer first down.
Same play that they just hooked up on for the big play. This is a shorter version of it. Ivy really shortening his route up. Nice play action again. Bulger throwing the corner route with effectiveness. And this time he throws the dart to the outside. He didn't have enough room. He was running out of real estate, so now he had to put it on a line. There was really nowhere to lead him up the field. He has to shorten him and bring the receiver to the sidelines. Still good coverage by Ed Reed, but a better throw by Bulger.
Pickup of 15. First down from the Miami 42. Pat Green in motion. Zeraway with a hole. Dan Morgan making the tackle at the Miami 37, a gain of 5. Morgan back in for Miami. And a penalty flag down in the West Virginia backfield. It's going to be holding against the Mountaineers. And the boos cascade down from the faithful here in Morgantown. See the referee, Jack Kramer, explaining the call to Eric DeGros.
Holding offense.
It looked like they caught the right guard, Brian Pucanis, number 61. Looked like the referee was talking to him, and that doesn't make Don Nealon very happy. They had a nice drive started. It's all going to come back, though. That Mountaineer offensive line, they did a nice job in the first half, but right now brings them back, and they have to stay away from the penalties. Nice pressure defensively by the Miami defensive front. Dan Morgan and company, the defensive line, they have to come up with some plays. It looks like they're beating the Mountaineers to the point of attack, especially the outside rush people. Derek Ham has been having a nice game. Now you see Michael Burrow and Quincy Hips also.
First down and 25 after the penalty, which occurred behind
West
the line
Virginia
of scrimmage.
may have to take a timeout. There's only 5 seconds left on the clock.
Well, they rush up in the 4 wide receiver set, and they have to call the timeout. They were down to 1 second on the play clock. So West Virginia spends a timeout with 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter at Morgantown. Miami holding a 27-24 lead. It has been an offensive show most of the day. Both defenses have been on their heels. Mark Bulger has been outstanding. Edgerrin James has 3 touchdowns for the Hurricanes. And you see Butch Davis talking about those games they're playing up front.
He's talking about really pinching in with the defensive end and looping both tackles to try to force some pressure on the offensive line to really make a mismatch, and maybe somebody will pop free, but they're trying to create something to get a turnover to get the ball back for that offense.
Miami came into the day with 12 sacks in 5 games. Kind of a so-so total, about average. See the timeouts remaining. Miami has all of theirs, West Virginia 2. And Butch's area of expertise, of course, he was the defensive line coach at both Miami and the Dallas Cowboys before he took over at UM again as the head coach. So he knows how to coach defensive line, and it pains him because last year they only had 19 sacks in 11 games, and that really stuck with him, and he wanted his guys to get bigger and stronger. Now what they have done this season, they've played much, much better against the run.
Yes, they have.
Which, if you can't stop that, then you've got no chance whatsoever on defense. So at least they've taken a step in that direction. Now it's a matter of upgrading the pass rush, and you're playing with such a young secondary, you would anticipate that those guys would get better. The Edward Reeds, the Al Blades, and the Mike Rumpfs. 1st and 25 for West Virginia. Bulger now under some pressure, and there's the sack. Damian Lewis with the big sack of Mark Bulger back at the 32-yard line.
It's exactly what Butch Davis was talking about. Now that's great coaching. That's a great example of getting communicated to the defensive front, and then they do it. Watch the game inside. The tackles are crashing. The tackles go outside. The ends crash to the inside, and they just collapse the pocket. And great pressure by all 4 of the Miami defensive front people. Nice pressure, and Lewis, number 92, gets the sack.
Loss back to the 35. The loss was 8 yards for Damian Lewis, his 2nd sack of the year. It's a 2nd and 33 for West Virginia. 4 wideouts in the game. Bulger, 3-step drop. Quick throw complete to Foreman across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Mike Rumpf making the tackle. Pickup of 12. And they'll bring up 3rd and 21. So a must stop here for the Miami defense with a minute to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be a big play. Let's see what West Virginia does offensively. They may come with that 3 or 4 wide receiver set and try to spread the field out. If Miami plays a zone or a deep zone, look for them to attack the middle of the football field down the left hash mark. That's where the 3 receivers break the huddle and come out for the Mountaineers.
Sean Foreman, 8 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown in this game. Miami with only 3 defensive linemen in the game, and that's what the rush is, just 3. Bulger, deep down the sideline. Foreman got away with a little bit of a push-off and then dropped the ball. And Marquise Fitzgerald looks at the ref and says, what about offensive interference?
Yeah, he got off with a big push-off, and if he catches that ball, that's a touchdown because there's no flags down around the 10-yard line. Foreman clearly pushed Marquise Fitzgerald in the back and got in position to catch the football. Really, he should have been caught. Take a look right here. When he gets about to the 30-yard line, here's the shove right there in the back. It just lets him go by him. It's very subtle. Wasn't a big push, but got him in position from the outside of the defender back to the inside where the football was. Should have been a catch and a touchdown, but luckily for Miami, they did drop the football.
I must confess, it looked a lot better, a lot worse in real motion than it did on the replay. Here's the punt from Taylor. Reed signals fair catch and makes it at the Miami 18-yard line. That's where the Hurricanes will take over 1st and 10 with 21 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Miami leading 27-24. A 34-yard kick, no return by Jay Taylor.
1st and 10 for Miami.
It's Miami sideline. And the Hurricane coaches, Chuck Pagano, the defensive back coach with the hooded jacket on, talking to Delvin Brown and talking to Fitzgerald about that last play. You've got to make a more decisive play on the ball. But again, the Hurricanes playing 3 freshmen and 1 sophomore in that secondary. From the 19-yard line on 1st down. James.
Oh, great line surge.
Got up to about the 23. Gary Stills making the tackle for West Virginia along with Barrett Green, the weak side linebacker.
Boy, that play, Frank, looked like it was going to be a lot bigger than what it turned out to be, and it looks like that's going to be the last play of the third quarter.
We're counting down 2-1, and the third quarter is in the books. We will go to the fourth quarter at Morgantown. It's Miami 27, West Virginia 24. Back with the fourth quarter right after this on Sports Channel.
So, what have you done on a lawn lately?
It's good to touch the green, green grass of home.
Some of America's finest lawns have one thing in common. True Green Chem Lawn, naturally. For a free lawn analysis, call us today.
Dilbert for Office Depot.
Our newest fan policy is to have subordinates appraise their boss's job performance.
I give you a D-.
Did I mention retribution?
Careful, sir. You're hanging by a thread.
For A-plus technology at guaranteed low prices, come to Office Depot. Over 600 convenient locations for computers and everything that goes with them. Hardware, software, printers, and more. Business is crazy, but Office Depot makes sense.
Start of the fourth quarter in Morgantown, you're looking at West Virginia's national champion rifle team. They've won the NCAA title 4 years in a row.
Yeah,
and they also introduced the sports psychologist for the rifle team, and I don't even want to touch that.
No. All I know is the mascot had, yeah, there he is.
There's the sports psychologist right there for the rifle team. Oh, gosh. I love college football. It is so much fun.
Well, it's been fun so far for the Miami Hurricanes, too, this afternoon, Frank. 27-24 going into the fourth quarter when it looked like West Virginia was going to have their way with Miami's defense early in the first quarter. They moved Bulger, I think, was 9 for 10 at one time, and really throwing with really no resistance to the pass. Miami was having trouble stopping them through the air, but the offense, give them credit when they came out of the locker room at halftime. They've won the time of possession. They've kept the offense for West Virginia off the football field, and now they have one more 15-minute quarter to try to keep this lead at 27-24.
What Miami would love to do is just take another long, sustained drive. Again, like you say, keep the football away from Mark Bulger. He is one of those quarterbacks that, and he's been good against everybody this year, not just Miami. People will look at the box score tomorrow, regardless of the outcome, and see how Bulger piled up the completions and the yardage, but he does this pretty much against every team.
Well, counting today, this is his 13th 200-yard game. That's a record at WVU, so he's done a great job throwing the football.
As we start the fourth quarter, 2nd and 7 for the Hurricanes from their own 23. James fakes the reverse to Santana Moss, and he has a big hold of the 30. Across to the 37, 38-yard line of West Virginia. Gary Tompkins in on the tackle along with Barrett Green. That's a play they used successfully in the first half, the reverse to Moss. This time they faked it, and James picks up a big first down.
This is a way to keep Stills, number 56, away from tracking down the play. Number 55, away from tracking the play from behind. A great fake by Edgerrin James. Then he does a little shake move to take it back to the inside and gain another 5 or 6 yards. So Miami very effective on first down in the second half, moving the chains.
First down Miami at their 38. Edgerrin James over 100 yards in this game. 130. 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving. Mondrell Fulcher, double tight end. Fake to James. Covington going deep for Reggie Wayne, just out of his reach at the West Virginia 35. It's Charles Fisher, senior out of Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, on the coverage.
Nice coverage by number 4, Charles Fisher. Wayne had a step, but it had to be a perfect throw, and Charles Fisher did a nice job of really forcing that play to the outside and really running out of room. Covington, the only shot he had was to put just a touch more air on the football, but it was a good throw. It would have to be a perfect throw for a completion. Great coverage again by Fisher.
You see Fisher using that free hand away from the official to try and pull Reggie's hand a little bit, slow him down just a little bit. It's great if he can get away with it, and he certainly did. Darrell Jones now in at wide receiver. He's the man in motion. They give to James. Up the middle, James across midfield, and down he goes at the 45-yard line of West Virginia. Brilliant call on second down. Jerry Porter making the tackle, but Edgerrin James picking up 17 yards.
He is showing how strong a young man and what a great power runner he is inside the tackles. Edgerrin James has the speed to make a play go the distance, but watch him inside. Great hole. He just runs through arm tackles. He's been doing that all day long, and he's been keeping his feet, and it really
it's a tough tackle for a DB. You see number 2 Porter trying to come up and make the tackle. That's a scary proposition for a DB. You see Edrin James at 6'1", 220 coming at you. You just try to hold on for dear life.
And whistle stop this play before it starts. Flag is down. It should be a procedure penalty on the Hurricanes.
Prior to the snap. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
The Hurricanes haven't picked up a lot of penalties today. Some of them on first down, though. You're looking at 1st and 15. You put yourself in a hole right away.
Like to see Miami come out now. You see there 104 yards, 0.2 penalty, average. Today only 4 for 26. But if Miami's going to throw the ball here on first down, I'd like to see a 3 quick step drop because you don't want to get a sack now after a penalty.
Press coverage on the outside. Covington flips it out to James, and he is upended beautifully by Barrett Green for a loss of 2. That's a great play by Barrett Green. Damon Neely out there trying to block, but Barrett Green way too quick for Damon Neely and made a tremendous play.
Yeah, he saw the screen happening, and it was man coverage on the outside, press man, so they get it to the outside. It's probably the worst call you could have versus this defense. You have guys coming up the middle, and what a great play. Just goes right by Neely. Number 75, the offensive right guard for the Canes.
2nd and 17, so again another drive into West Virginia territory. But the Hurricanes moving backward. Covington going deep for Darryl Jones, overthrows him at the West Virginia 30-yard line, and again Fisher in good coverage.
Frank, what you'd like to see happen for Miami now, if they're going to run that fade route on press coverage against Charles Fisher, he's had great coverage and great positioning both times. You want to see the throw behind. If he's going to run for you stride for stride, have Scott Covington really underthrow the ball more on a line, let your receiver react to the football. Maybe you get the pass interference, but you probably have a better chance of catching the football.
Covington 16 out of 24. What the penalty does on first down, it kind of takes you out of your running game a little bit. They've been running the football, but you look at 1st and 15, and now you get away from the running game a little bit. 3rd and 17 for the Hurricanes. And Scott Covington will take a timeout as it's getting loud at Mountaineer Field. When this place is packed, it becomes the biggest city in West Virginia.
That's right. That's the one thing you have to stay away from when you're playing at West Virginia, is trying to audible, because this crowd, they sit back, they're very intelligent football fans. They get into it, and it's a very tough stadium to communicate to your outside receivers and your linemen.
Was that true when you played?
Oh, very true. This crowd, I believe one game we played in 1983, they let the students in the night before the game, and they slept up on top of this tier. And it was quite rowdy that afternoon.
For those of you who may not know this, John, of course, was the quarterback of the University of Pittsburgh immediately after Dan Marino was there, so he's played his share of games against them. How'd you fare against this team?
Down here, we didn't fare as well. We lost in '83. Hostetler he ran a bootleg to beat us by 3 points with under maybe a couple minutes to go, but we handled ourselves okay back in Pittsburgh.
And speaking of Jeff Hostetler, on the way in, you see a couple of shops, Hostetler's Bagels.
Yeah,
so he's got some businesses going.
Saw Jeff.
Of course, he's married to Don Nealon's daughter.
Yeah, that helps. He got a good job on the rent.
Jeff Hostetler, of course, still in the NFL. But was a tremendous quarterback here at West Virginia. Right now, the Hurricanes face a 3rd and 17. And as I said before, in this game, every possession is vital. It's just one of those games where you can't afford bad possessions.
And this might be a situation where Butch Davis might want to play it close to the vest and maybe play for field position. West Virginia hasn't moved the football very effectively against their defense. You might want to take a shot and throw another fade and just come out and punt the ball and win the battle of field position. But what you don't want to do is take a sack.
They were readjusting the play clock, and that's what the delay is. Butch Davis with his running backs coach Don Solinger. 13 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the game. Miami 27, West Virginia 24. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. And we'll be bringing you next week's game against Boston College as well. That is a 6 p.m. kickoff. We'll see the game as usual at 11:30 on Saturday night.
This crowd will erupt when they come out of the huddle.
3rd and 17 Hurricanes, 3 wide receivers in. Covington. Pressure on. Covington throwing for Wayne, broken up by Bastine. Perlo Bastine, good coverage in the pass breakup. And Scott's pass was a little bit short.
Flag down at the Miami 44.
Illegal formation. Offense. Decline. First down.
So that drive had reached the West Virginia 45, and then a penalty and a 2-yard loss, then the incompletions.
Again, good coverage by the West Virginia DBs. In great position, you see there, Bastine, number 3, Reggie Wayne trying to run the inside corner pattern. Covington hanging in the pocket as long as he could. Had some time, had enough time to throw the football outside, but it was underthrown.
Penalty flag down as Crossland punts, and it bounces out of bounds inside the West Virginia 20 at the 15-yard line. Let's check the flag on the far side of the field. If it's against West Virginia, I think I would decline it and leave the ball at the 15.
Definitely.
See referee Jack Kramer talking it over with his crew. Flags down on both sides of the field, as a matter of fact. One by the field judge, one by the head linesman. And they're discussing the options with Miami. Well, if I'm the Hurricanes, I say forget about it. We'll take the punt out of bounds at the 15.
Yeah, I don't think you want to chance that opportunity for a block, and you've got the ball on the 15-yard line. Your defense is playing real well. Get him out on the field and see what happens.
Offside. Defense. Decline. First down.
Well, Mark Bulger and the Mountaineers take over 1st and 10 at their 15-yard line. Butch Davis has issues.
Yeah, and he's not, it's not falling on any ears that really are receptive, because he's been talking all day, and he's been right in most cases, especially on the offsides earlier in the game, and he's been voicing his opinion, but a lot of people turning the other way.
We'll take a break with 12 minutes, 52 seconds to play. It's Miami 27, West Virginia 24, back in Morgantown right after this. Be sure to join us again next Saturday for more coverage of University of Miami football. This time the Canes will have to battle Boston College in a Big East showdown at the Orange Bowl. We'll have all the coverage beginning at 11:30 p.m. right here on Sports Channel Florida. For the moment, though, 12 minutes, 52 seconds left to go in the football game. Miami with a 27-24 lead. And West Virginia has it 1st and 10 at their 15-yard line. Mark Bulger has had an outstanding day at quarterback for West Virginia. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception out of the 3 wide receiver set. Bulger straight back, throws the screen over the middle to his tight end, Anthony Beck. And Beck gets up to the 20-yard line, loose football, and they say he was down. One official is pointing to the fact that the ball came out while he was on the ground. So West Virginia will retain possession. Michael Burrow and Dan Morgan in on the tackle. Little delay to the tight end, Beck. And we'll take another look at it.
Yeah, Bulger really, after the play action, trying to move the pocket a little bit over the right tackle, and the tight end actually sneaks out. A nice play call. You want to see your tight end go up the field and challenge, but that was clearly a fumble. And I don't know if Beck didn't, I don't know who recovered the football underneath that pile, but that was a fumble.
It clearly was, but the Big East crew missing a call, what a shock that would be. On 2nd down and 5, Zerouay gets up close to the 1st down, carrying Michael Lawson for about 4 yards.
Yeah, he got the 1st down, Frank.
Well, Michael Lawson made initial contact back about the 21 or 22, and Zerouay still got to the 25.
Well, you talked about it earlier, how strong Zerouay is, only 5'10", 200 pounds, but he's put together. He's a brick running the football, and you're carrying Michael Lawson. He goes 6'2", 275, and he carried him a good 5 yards.
See, when I go back to the officials, you've got an official making a call from the opposite side of the field where he was carrying the ball. He was carrying the ball in his right hand, and the linesman on the far side of the field, which would be Beck's left hand, is making the call on whether he was down.
Right.
I can't understand how he would have a clear view of that.
He didn't. He made a bad call.
1st down from the 25. Bulger swings it out, complete to Saunders, and Saunders run out at the 32-yard line. A pickup of 7. Michael Smith ran him out of bounds. 11 minutes, 35 seconds left to go 4th quarter. Miami precariously holding a 3-point lead.
By number 59, Michael Smith.
Well, Bulger's been patient all afternoon, and he looks like he does it with such ease. He's been very proficient throwing the football outside, using all 3 of his weapons. Saunders on the outside, along with Sean Foreman and Corey Ivey. They've done a nice job spreading the football, and Amos Zerouay has run enough to make Miami really try to respect the run as well.
Bulger unofficially 27 of 36 for 310 yards. Saunders in motion on a 2nd and 3. The delay to Zeraway. Zeraway chased by Barreau. He's not going to catch him, and Zeraway up across the 45-yard line before he's run out of bounds by Al Blades. And a flag down. Zeraway lost his helmet, and he's claiming face mask, which I think the officials agree with.
Yeah, clearly something was going on the sideline. There's a penalty flag out there, and they're discussing it right now. Zeraway's helmet was ripped off, but I'm not sure if maybe an offensive lineman may have retaliated for West Virginia, and they may be caught with the penalty.
Unsportsmanlike against the Mountaineers and Miami, so it offsets.
Let's take a look again. It was just a counterplay. It looked like Barreau was going to run down Zeraway, but not a chance once he turned it upfield. Let's see if we can see who makes the tackle. It looks like Al Blades and Dan Morgan on the tackle. Blades rips his helmet off with his right hand, and it must have been an offensive lineman coming in after the play that really shook things up on the sidelines. That might have been your personal foul there for Miami. Let's take a look and see what happens after the play. Or there.
Well, either way, it is offsetting penalties and a West Virginia first down at their 47-yard line. Zeraway now 23 carries for 91 yards.
See that speed to the outside. Looked like Barreau was closing the gap, and then he turned it on.
11:27 left to go, fourth quarter. West Virginia started this drive at their own 15. They've moved it to their 47. Well, it's talking in the break, John. It's not like we haven't seen good football games this year.
We've seen terrific football.
Virginia Tech, exciting game. Florida State, and now this one. From the 47. Green, the fullback, in motion. Fake to Zeraway. Bulger on the rollout. Pressured by Webster, throwing deep down the field. Caught by Foreman at the 20-yard line. Mike Rumpf had the coverage. But again, that's that underthrown pass we saw that Florida State use against Miami. And it again hurts the Hurricanes.
You would think that defensive backs, after watching the Miami game, when the ball is getting underthrown, when you see the ball starting to float down, you have to stop and go straight up in the air, straight up vertically to catch the football. Watch how Rumpf keeps going down the field and drifts away from the football. The offensive guy naturally sees the ball and reacts and goes up and gets the football. You have to stop as a DB if you can see the ball early enough and go up straight with the offensive receiver and go up vertically to get the football, not fall away from it.
31-yard gain on the completion of Sean Foreman. And just inside the 22, Green, the fullback, motioning. Three-step drop and the give to Zeraway on the reverse. Zeraway with some blockers in front, and he is inside the 10, inside the 5, out at the 6-yard line call.
Almost the old Statue of Liberty play. They pumped the outside, and he just handed the ball off to Zeraway, coming to the short side of the football field. Terrific play call by West Virginia. It had me looking down the field. I thought they were going to try the pump and go. Bulger just throws it, and then it's the Statue of Liberty coming back around. Almost a delayed draw to the outside to the short side. Zeraway, nice tiptoe. I don't know if he might have stepped out around the 8-yard line, but they give it to him inside the 5, closer to the 3-yard line.
Amos Zeraway now over 100 yards. That is his 16th 100-yard rushing game. Here are his numbers today. From the 4, first and goal. Zeraway hit at the 4, still going, and gets down to close to the 1-yard line. He just keeps driving and driving and driving. Matt Sweeney making the tackle along with Dan Morgan. Zeraway, one of those guys, it's just hard to get a good shot on him, John.
You can't, he's always moving, and he's so low to the ground, he's so strong, you really can't stop him. I mean, one time today, Nate Webster really squared up and hit him, and it really looked like it hurt. Other times, it just looks like he bounces off tacklers, and he's strong enough to run through on tacklers.
Just inside the 2, second and goal. Fullback Green, Anthony Green, touchdown.
We haven't called Anthony Green's name much today, maybe the first time we talk about him, but he goes in from the 1-yard line off a right tackle, and the Mountaineers regain the lead at 30-27.
Anthony Green only 9 carries for 30 yards coming into the game, and that is his first touchdown of the year.
Credit the Mountaineers, they made the big plays when they had to. Zeraway on the Statue of Liberty, a great pass reception down the right side. Goes up and fights for the football, and they regain the lead and tack on the extra point to make it 31-27.
Jay Taylor with the important extra point makes it a 4-point game at 31-27, 10 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter at Morgantown. The Mountaineers are back on top. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back at Morgantown right after this. The 6th annual HIP Golf Classic to benefit the University of Miami Student Athlete Scholarship Fund will be held Monday, January 18th at the Weston Hills Country Club. Great golf for a great cause. Call 305-284-2491 today for the HIP Golf Classic. Another look at Anthony Green's touchdown run from just over a yard out.
Yeah, West Virginia wins the battle at the line of scrimmage. You see a lot of white jerseys and a lot of room to run. He only had to go 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards at the most. He gets in. Green gets in for the West Virginia lead, his first touchdown of the season.
On the kickoff, James Jackson at the 4. Run down by David Carter at the 22-yard line, along with number 34, Corey McIntyre. Canes start 1st and 10 at their 22. They trail again. This game is seesawed back and forth, and a penalty flag down at the Miami 31.
I think that's going,
against West Virginia.
The West Virginia coaches are real upset on the sidelines, and they're talking to a couple different players, but they're very upset. And I don't know, maybe they're more upset at the official for the call, but regardless, it's going against the Mountaineers.
Unsportsmanlike against West Virginia, and this will move it out to the 36-yard line of the Hurricanes.
Gets the kickers. First down.
Well, West Virginia in the Maryland game, they were called for 2 unsportsmanlikes because fans were throwing things on the field. They threw golf balls and other things, and they got 2 15-yard penalties in the Maryland game. This was on one of the players, and Don Nealon expressing his displeasure to the officials. So the Miami offense has to respond once again. Edgerrin James to the corner. James 40. And Barrett Green drags him down, and you're going to get a hold on Miami. First down penalties just kill you, John.
Yeah, Santana Moss going downfield, trying to make something happen. It looks like they're going to call him for the hold.
Santana really unhappy, and his teammates pulling him back to the huddle. It was a nice gain on first down, but it's going to come back.
Gets the offense. 10-yard penalty.
See if we can pick it up here, Frank. He's going downfield, and it's a battle with the DB. You just try to get in his way and try to make something happen so your offensive back can make the move. You see the right arm maybe going up on the shoulder pad, getting a handful of jersey. That's where the call was made.
Well, that happens pretty much every play. But they decided to flag that one. It brings it back to the 31-yard line and makes it a 1st and 15. Nine minutes, 45 seconds to play here in Morgantown. Santana Moss in motion. Covington looking for Moss, incomplete. Barrett Green had the coverage.
There's a flag, late flag, Frank, coming in.
And that looks like interference on Barrett Green. And again, this flag coming from way out of the play.
I tell you, the officials in the last 3 calls, from the special team call, the personal foul, to the holding, now to the interference, are really having making this game, taking it away from a great game to really coming down to some bad calls, or good and bad calls.
I think these last 2 calls were certainly questionable. They'll place it up at the 36-yard line. It's a spot foul, but more importantly, an automatic first down. Santana Moss, no catches in this game. You look at the penalty yardage, and you know the way Miami's going, normally that's been reversed.
Exactly.
It's Miami who's really been hurt by the penalties. So we'll start over basically on this possession. 1st and 10 from the 36. Counter play to James. Gets a good block from Fulcher. James run out by Barrett Green up at the 42-yard line. Nice pickup on first down of 6 yards.
You called it, Frank. A great block by Miami's tight end, Mondrell Fulcher, getting out in front of Edgerrin James and really providing him with the blocks he needed to get to the corner and close to a 6-yard gain.
Scott Covington, by the way, out of his last 5 passes, 4 have been incomplete. The other went for a 2-yard loss.
Ball's at the 42.
You take a look. First, it's Mercier pinning, looked like still number 55, and then Fulcher really kicking out on Barrett Green, the weak side linebacker.
2nd and a long 4 for Miami. Give to James. James across the 45, about a yard shy of a first down as Gary Tompkins and Barrett Green combine on the tackle. Will bring up 3rd and 1 for Miami. Clock moving with 9:12 left to go, fourth quarter. It's been a seesaw game, just back and forth, back and forth. West Virginia had an early 14-3 lead. Miami led at 17-14 at halftime, 24-17 West Virginia. Miami scored the first 10 points of the third quarter. And West Virginia scoring here in the fourth to regain the lead. 29 carries, 161 yards unofficially for Edgerrin James. On a 3rd and 1 with Fulcher in motion. James hit in the backfield and upended. John Thornton, number 96, getting up off the bottom of the pile. He's the guy who made the penetration.
You called it, Frank. Number 96, John Thornton, the defensive tackle. Both Robert Hall and Robert Sampson were 3 yards back in the Miami backfield. And credit that young man right there, number 96, John Thornton. He really submarine. Take a look at Hall, 77. He's getting just beat to the inside. Then take a look at 76, also getting pushed back by number 98, Kevin Landolt. They really made the penetration that the Mountaineer defense was looking for.
4th and 3, and Miami apparently will go for it. Covington swings it out to James. James to the 40, 45, 50. And finally run out of bounds in West Virginia territory. So Butch Davis saying, hey, my defense is not playing really well today. I've got to take the chance.
Boy, he rolls the dice now with 7:57 left in this football game. A gutsy call by the Miami staff and Butch Davis. They go out to the outside, the swing pass to Edgerrin James, and he has enough speed to the outside to outrun the defense of the Mountaineers. A nice touch pass to the outside. James gets back and really outraces number 45, Caden, to the outside, and a huge play for Miami that keeps him in this football game.
Gain of 15 on a 4th and 3 inside the West Virginia 41. Double tight end. Counter play to James. James inside the 40 to the 38. Kevin Landolt making the tackle along with
Edgerrin James carried the ball.
Barrett Green.
Stop was made by
Gain of only 2.
Kevin Landolt.
Bring up 2nd and 8 with 7:41 left to go in the fourth quarter. Clock is moving. Edgerrin James' numbers had a lot of action today. 31 carries. You see the rushing yards. One of those touchdowns was on a pass reception.
He's had a great afternoon and early evening, and he's going to need to keep it up. He looks tired out on that football field, but he's only got 7:21 and counting to go to lead Miami to victory.
2nd and 8. Covington with play action.
Wide open.
Wide open is the tight end Franks, and the pass is incomplete.
Boy, if there's one play that Scott Covington's going to take and look at tomorrow, and he knows it's on him, it's this play right here. He never really set his feet and led Bubba Franks down the field, because if he does, it's a touchdown. Number 3, Bastien, this lets the tight end go. He needs to throw that ball up the field closer to the hash, not the numbers in the sidelines. And Scott really never got set to throw that football down the field.
A little more air under it, too, giving Bubba time to get under it, because he had it. 3rd and 8.
And he knows it, Frank.
Yep. You were talking about Edgerrin James and fatigue. To my recollection, he's played every offensive snap. Covington steps up and throws low, incomplete at the 31, and flag down again. Charles Fisher going to get called for interference. And Fisher can't believe it.
No, he can't believe it. And I want to see that again just to take a look at it, because I was looking at the pressure that Scott Covington was under, and he was under a lot of duress.
Don Nealon on the field questioning the official's call. Interference against the Mountaineers. That'll give Miami a first down.
Take an ISO look at this now. Going down on the curl route, trying to come back to the football. Might have been, yeah, definitely. First of all, he had a shirt. His right hand had a shirt pulling Reggie closer to him, but I think there was contact before the ball got there, and that's what the official saw.
Even though that ball was short, Wayne never had a chance to really come back and get it because he was on the ground.
Right.
And the contact from behind. Don Nealon certainly disagrees.
I think that's what he's pleading.
He's saying the ball wasn't catchable.
That's right. And that's a valid point. But that's, you know, these calls in the fourth quarter have been going both ways. Just depends on what side of the fence you're standing on.
First down, Miami at the 30-yard line. Fulcher in motion. Covington reloads, complete to Franks at the 25. Pick up a 5 on first down. Keeps the clock moving, under 7 minutes to go. Miami down by 4, 31-27.
Butch Davis and his staff trying to figure out a way to pull out another one in Morgantown.
Frank, it looks like they're going with 2 tight ends again. I believe both tight ends are in the football game.
Yep, double tight end, single running back. And it is James Jackson as they're giving Edgerrin James a breather. Jackson with the football, escaped one in the backfield, gets close to the first down at the 20-yard line. Gary Tompkins on the tackle along with Barrett Green. We've called Barrett Green's name a ton today.
He's been all over, number 33 for the Mountaineers on defense. Hey, let's give credit to James Jackson. That's a tough position to come into. Being cold all game, and you get the workhorse, Edgerrin James. He's had over 160 yards rushing. That's a tough position to come in and try to hold on to the football. You see the season stats, 275 yards, a 5.5 average, and 3 touchdowns. But a big play coming up now, 3rd and inches for the Hurricanes on the 20-yard line.
Miami basically has to get to the 20-yard line. Covington will keep it. He stood up initially.
I don't think he got any line surge there, Frank.
No, he didn't. And West Virginia was packed in there pretty good in the middle. Might have been a good time for Scott to check into another play. They'll bring the sticks out to measure.
If that ball's not touching the 20, or at least half a football on that 20, he's short of the first down. Looks like he's short by a full football.
Which would bring up another 4th down situation on this drive. We're saying, hey, if we can't pick up a yard on 3rd down, and we might be in some trouble. And it is just shy. So here it is with 5:44 left to go. 4th down and a couple of inches for Miami.
This is a very tough situation for the Miami offense to be in because the crowd's going to be very loud. Last thing you want to do is confuse yourself. So Scott right now in the huddle, he's trying to tell them, listen guys, we're going to go on one. Pay attention to what you need to do. Just come off the ball, hold your water, don't jump off sides, but be aggressive and move that defensive front.
Miami 4 of 7 on 4th down this year, including a conversion earlier in this drive. Double tight end, eye in the backfield. Covington keeps it across the 20, and from the spot of the headlinesman on the far side, he appears to have the first down.
Covington carried the ball.
5 minutes, 37 seconds left. They stop the clock as they unpile.
Frank, this official here spotted the football. They may have get this by a quarter of the football. This is going to be so close. The official running in from the near sideline clearly was behind the 20, but on the Miami sideline looked like he spotted it over the 20.
He certainly did. The linesman on the far side had him past the 20-yard line.
I think he got it by a nose, Frank. Well, it's hard to tell, but it doesn't look like there's...
Oh, man.
He missed it by a nose.
Unbelievable. 5:37 left to go. And now Miami's defense has to come up with a stop or a turnover.
That was really interesting because the one official was clearly ahead of the 20-yard line, and the near side official was behind the 20. Let's take a look if we can see Scott Covington in that pile. You really can't, but if you could take a look at the official running in, he's clearly above the 20-yard line.
West Virginia takes over at their 20.
Now, wait a minute. Where they're spotting the football now, that's a first down. If you could take a look at the football, if they would have spotted it there, that's a first down.
Well, what they do is I think they turn the nose the other way. They turn the nose the other way, so West Virginia is not getting that extra football length. And Miami's defense has to come up with something here. Zero away. Got away from one in the backfield. Got up to the 26-yard line. Nate Webster on the tackle. So Miami with a third and a foot and could not convert on 2 plays, both quarterback sneaks. Now you can second guess and say, well, why sneak the ball? But it's a classic second guess.
Exactly. It worked before earlier in the game, and Edgerrin James was out of the game, I believe, for both the last 3 or 4 offensive plays. So Miami now really needs to tackle the football and strip the football, try to get it away from Zeraway and that Mountaineer offense.
Miami was driving, trying to get in for the go-ahead touchdown, and they stall at the West Virginia 20. They had third and a foot and failed twice to pick it up on quarterback sneaks. Zeraway again, this time met in the backfield by Damian Lewis. Damian Lewis all up in his grill and nailed him for a loss.
Boy, he showed you his speed. Lewis's speed coming off the football really looked like he was untouched, coming right up the middle of the football field, met Amos Zaraway in the backfield. That's a tackle for a loss. That's his second on the season, right over the nose of the football. You see number 92 just pushed the center out of the way, and the guard never got down. The down block by Dunnigan, number 60, never came, and it was a huge play for Miami's defense. Now it brings up a 3rd and 8.
With 4:11 and the clock moving here in the 4th quarter. Green, the fullback, in motion. They're going to fake to Zaraway. Miami on the blitz, and down goes Bulger. He ducked under Edward Reed, but in doing so put his knee on the ground. So give Edward Reed credit for the sack. And West Virginia will have to kick it away.
Yeah, credit the call. They came with the heat. Number 20, Edward Reed, comes from the secondary on a strong safety blitz. Bulger could see him the whole way, but what he did when he ducked, he touched his knee on the ground. That's the end of the play, and West Virginia will have to punt the football away. Take a look at Reed. He comes on a delayed blitz. Really, you can't see him until the last minute. You try to avoid the pressure, and Bulger goes down and really sacks himself.
Jay Taylor back at the 1-yard line. Good snap. Taylor gets the kick away. Nick Ward says, get out of the way, and it bounces out of bounds at the West Virginia 48-yard line.
Not a good kick.
Well, Miami takes over in West Virginia territory with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left to play. And it comes down to this, John.
Yeah, it always does, it seems like, in West Virginia. Miami, when they play up here. A tight game 2 years ago decided by a special teams block punt for a touchdown. Now Miami's offense and Scott Covington under the direction of Scott right there, number 11. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Miami does have 2 timeouts remaining, but they have the ball in excellent field position at the West Virginia 48-yard line.
34 yards on the Jay Taylor punt. Out of bounds at the 48-yard line of West Virginia. Total yardage in this game, 443 for the Mountaineers, 408 for the Hurricanes. West Virginia leads 31-27. Field goal does not do Miami any good. They got to get it in the end zone.
Well, Miami's averaging right now 38 points a game, and they need a touchdown to get it closer to that and win this football game. You're right, Frank. They can't afford to settle for a field goal 4 points down. They have to drive and get in to the Mountaineer end zone.
Today's attendance here at Mountaineer Field, 60,081. And they've seen a tremendous football game. A lot of offense, and one that's going to come down to the final moments. Butch Davis, 3-8 against ranked teams in his tenure at Miami. And granted, he has not had a full arsenal, down 31 scholarships over 3 years. The last time they beat a ranked team was up at Syracuse 2 seasons ago in the regular season finale, which got him into the CarQuest Bowl. And he would dearly love to come out of here with a victory again. You know, 2 years ago, West Virginia came into this game 7-0 and ranked 11th in the country. And Miami with the, infamous here in Morgantown, and famous in Miami, punt block and the Nate Brooks touchdown took that game away from them.
Well, Miami's going to come out in 2 tight ends again. You see number 88, Bubba Franks, is in the football game, and Mondrell Fulcher to his right. So let's see what they can do.
And James Jackson in at running back. You see the yardage in each half. Miami's done better in the second half. So Edgerrin James with 39 carries, probably a little bit gassed right about now. James Jackson with the football. Jackson will get to the 45, a gain of 3. And the clock runs. Now we'll be under 3 minutes when the next snap occurs.
The ball carrier.
Charlton Forbes making the tackle for the Mountaineer defense.
And Frank, Miami really has plenty of time with 2 timeouts remaining and the clock stopping with the first downs. Miami has plenty of time. They do not want to score too early with the way West Virginia's been moving it on the ground, but they do want to take their time, get it down, and get in position to put it in the end zone.
2nd and 7. Fulcher in motion. Counter play to Jackson. Good block from Fulcher. Jackson skips away from one.
There's
Jackson's
speed.
got some room. Jackson inside the 20. Jackson out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 5.
What a huge play and a great cut. As we said earlier, Edgerrin James may have been gassed. He's on the sidelines, bringing in a fresh guy, a tough spot for a running back to come into. But number 21, the sophomore, James Jackson, what a great run on the counter play. You say, follow your big tight end. What a kick-out block by Mondrell Fulcher, number 18. And now it's just pure speed. He beats number 11, Gary Tompkins, the Miami native, to the sidelines, and he's out running Scooter Davis, number 23. A great run by the sophomore back.
James Jackson, a 40-yard gain. Well, now Miami's got to punch it in. Jackson again. Jackson to the 3. And that's all. Gary Stills in there in the middle of the pile. 2 minutes, 14 seconds, and the clock moving. Miami's not going to take any timeouts here. They want to run that clock down as much as possible and score.
Now, West Virginia, they have 2 timeouts remaining as well, so they may need those after Miami scores, or at least that's what Miami hopes they do. They score and then put it on their defense.
From the 3, 2nd and goal. James Jackson, 4 carries, 47 yards in relief of Edgerrin James. Fake to Jackson. Covington, back of the end zone, just threw it away. Well, you know what? If he had held that ball a second longer, Mondrell Fulcher might have come open.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like Mondrell Fulcher really stopped on the route, and in doing so, it surprised Scott Covington, and he just threw it out of bounds. That was the smart play by the quarterback. Usually Mondrell on that pattern should go to the back pylon, and the fullback, Nick Williams, should go to the front pylon to create some separation, but that play really didn't look real good from the start.
3rd and goal. You see the time and the score. Covington under a blitz.
He's
over
got
the middle. Touchdown, Darryl Jones. Darryl Jones with the 3-yard touchdown with 1:37 left to go, and Miami has the lead.
Just a delay route on the outside, and we've only mentioned Darryl Jones' name maybe one time because he was going in motion today and had a good block on the outside. But what a time to come up with a catch for a touchdown. He had no touchdowns coming into this game, and the biggest one of the season, perhaps for the University of Miami right now, makes the score 33 Miami to 31 for West Virginia.
The all-important extra point coming up. Crossland to attempt the kick. Good hold by Popovich. Kick is up and good, and that makes it a 3-point game. With 1:37 to play, another look at the touchdown pass on 3rd and goal. Scott Covington to Darryl Jones, who was in motion from the top of the screen.
Yeah, just a delay route. Really, you're going to send the tight end up the field to clear out. You see 3 people around Bubba Franks. He went up the field, and all number 1, Darryl Jones, did was sneak down the goal line. You see everybody running with the tight end. Nobody is with the wide receiver, just the guy in motion. Number 23, Scooter Davis, was trailing from outside in. That's perfect leverage. That's what you want. That play was perfectly designed. Scott Covington, probably the easiest throw he had all night because it was right in front of him, and it ends up as a Hurricane touchdown.
So now it falls on the Miami kickoff coverage team and on the Miami defense. With 1:37, West Virginia has 2 timeouts left. It has been an outstanding football game here at Mountaineer Field. A look at Darryl Jones, number 1 out of Dallas Carter High School, one of the great high school football programs in the country.
And he's got exceptional speed, and that's what separated him. When he came down in motion, he came out of that break with such quickness. He separated from Scooter Davis, the cornerback, who's had really a good game covering all day, but that was just leverage from outside in, and Covington just dropped it over the middle. He said, hey, man, thanks, Scotty. Thanks for putting it on my number.
Todd Severs to kick off to Antonio Brown and Sean Foreman. Severs bangs it deep, and they're not going to return this one. That is a great kickoff by Todd Severs, so you eliminate one threat with the touchback on the kickoff. West Virginia from their own 20-yard line. 1:37 to go in the game. Butch Davis, you see him. Let's play smart. Let's play smart. Miami with a 34-31 lead. John, this is one of those games that, you know, when it's over, I think you and I are going to be emotionally drained. I'm tired, and I didn't play it down.
I know. And it's all on this man's shoulders right now. He's played magnificently the whole night or early in the afternoon, throwing the football, 342 yards passing. They've had 443 yards total offense, and they're down by 3 points.
Miami in their nickel package defensively. 4 wide receivers in for West Virginia. Bulger flips it out, complete to Pat Green at the 25. Miami wants to keep him in bounds, and they do at the 28-yard line. Pickup of 8. West
Virginia's going to have to get up on the football now. That he had an opportunity to get out of bounds and didn't do it. A bad play by Green, number 21.
2nd and a little over a yard. 1:17 and the clock moving. Readjusting zero-way in the backfield. Bulger steps up in the pocket over the middle, complete. Sean Foreman and Nate Webster, rather Saunders, makes the catch at the 38. Nate Webster with the tackle, pick up a 10 and a first down.
Great throw by Bulger. He stopped Saunders before he was going to run into coverage. He threw it to his backside shoulder before Nate Webster could react. Nice throw and nice catch.
Miami can't play too soft. West Virginia just needs a field goal to tie. Bulger under some pressure. Down he goes. Derek Ham with the sack. Derek Ham with the big sack for Miami's defense, his 6th of the season.
West Virginia's going to have to spend a timeout, but that sack by Ham couldn't have come at a better time. He just really used his speed up the side on Solomon Page, number 77, and gets to the quarterback, Bulger.
West Virginia does spend a timeout. They have one left. Another look from ground level.
Yeah, the right of your screen, you just see some speed rushing coming from the outside, right on Page. Really beat him up the field, and that's just a matter of wanting it a little bit more than the other person. He got to the outside and used his speed. And as you said, Frank, his 6th sack of the season.
David Saunders, number 6, the West Virginia wide receiver, 12 catches today, for 89 yards and a touchdown. 12 catches, 89 yards and a touch for David Saunders of West Virginia. Total yardage right now, West Virginia 455, Miami 456. Not that that really means anything in terms of the score, but it just gives you an indication of how back and forth this game has been and how the offenses have played for both teams.
They played terrific. I think the play of both quarterbacks and running backs, they've really done a good job at the skill positions. Both offensive lines have done a good job protecting the quarterback. Miami improved in that area in the second half when they came out in the third quarter. The fourth quarter, they really just tried to protect the football. Time of possession, we talked about it at halftime. Miami really kept West Virginia off the playing field. And that's why they're in this position. They made more plays in this second half so far, but there is still 52 seconds left to play in this football game.
29 of 38 for Bulger, 351 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2nd and 16 after the Derek Ham sack. Bulger steps up in the pocket. Ham's got him again. And down he goes back at the 29. Michael Lawson helped out, but Derek Ham with back-to-back sacks. How about that?
Huge play by Miami defensive ends. Derek Ham just came relentless from the outside, had some help from Lewis, and it looks like West Virginia's going to have to spend their last time out of the football game. Bulger, the last thing you want to do is take a sack, but Ham again on Page, number 77.
Damian Lewis helping out.
That's right, he just wins the battle, and as you said, number 92, Lewis in also with a half a sack. So they've done a great job in the last 2 plays sacking Bulger, and now the Mountaineers have 42 seconds left to play with no timeouts remaining.
3rd and 19 with no timeouts. Derek Ham, his 2nd sack, and you talk about timing is everything. Boy, did he raise up at a big time right there, putting West Virginia in a 3rd and 19 situation. Again, the Mountaineers trying to get into field goal range. Miami taking their last lead here with 1:40 to go on a 3-yard touchdown from Scott Covington to Darrell Jones. Darrell's first touchdown of the season. We'll reset the situation for you. 42 seconds left. Miami 34, West Virginia 31. And believe me, in this series between these two teams, nothing is ever safe until that final gun goes off.
You're right. The way the games have gone in the past couple of years, Miami led last year 17-7, and West Virginia won the football game in the 4th quarter. And then 2 years ago here, the block punt for the touchdown. So it's crazy 42 seconds yet to be played.
3rd and 19 for the Mountaineers. Bulger again under some pressure. Deep down the sideline, incomplete, flag down. It's going to be interference on Miami.
That ball might not have been catchable, but it's still the flag on the carpet.
Butch Davis is saying, hey, threw it out of bounds. It's uncatchable. This one will go against Miami.
Just a fade route on the outside, trying to make a big play with Green, number 21, going up against Fitzgerald. There's some contact right there. It's clearly interference. Let's see if we can see the ball.
That's
no,
in
it
bounds.
was a good pass.
It's in bounds. It's a good call.
Bulger, yeah, he agrees with it. I would too. You got 36 seconds left to go. That's the best thing that could happen to you.
It's a 15-yard penalty and a first down. So that'll march it out to the 34-yard line.
Now let's point out, Frank, now West Virginia really only needs a field goal to tie this game. Miami was in a situation where they needed to get into the end zone. So West Virginia, they're looking to get maybe 25 more yards to get into field goal range.
It's been a tough day for Miami's young defensive backs, aside from the Edward Green interception. From the 44, first down, Mountaineers. Bulger to throw it. Pocket collapses. Bulger just flips it out to Zerouay. Zerouay to the Miami 42-yard line. Dan Morgan and Al Blades on the tackle. That's a pickup of 14 on a first down.
I look for a quick three-step drop, just a quick hitch on Mike Rump's side or to the wide side of the football field and get out of bounds.
Yeah, Miami
right
playing way
here.
off, too. Out of the shotgun. Bulger again. Over the middle, complete to Zerouay. Zerouay tackled by Morgan at the 36.
Now.
Clock running with 14 seconds. 10 seconds. Bulger will snap it and ground it. 7 seconds to go. So now if you're West Virginia, you've got a decision to make. And Miami can't play too loose.
No, they can't. But that's what I would look to do. If Mike Rump is off the line of scrimmage, if I'm West Virginia, I just run a three-step route, throw it to the outside, get about 5 or 7 yards, and that might put you in field goal range.
Right now it would be a 53-yard attempt should West Virginia decide to go for the field goal with 7 seconds to play. But you've got time to run one more play. That's the back behind us. West Virginia's offensive coordinator is screaming, kick it, kick it.
I don't agree with him. I think you've got plenty of time to run a three-step drop and get out of bounds and maybe have 2 seconds left to go. It's only going to take you 4 or 5 seconds.
Timeout by Miami in this situation. I'm not sure that's a great move by the Hurricanes because you're giving West Virginia a chance to really reset and talk about things. But Miami's such a young defensive team with all these freshmen and sophomore defensive backs in the game that Butch Davis wants to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Well, I think it's a good call just because he's explaining what could happen. They're trying to collapse the pocket, and that's what he's talking about, that if you flush them, you know, you got time, and that could be the last play. They're just trying to collapse the pocket, keep in your lanes, and just listen and believe me, guys. And he's trying to get his point across, and I believe there's a lot of heads nod and say, yeah, we understand.
I'm just told Jay Taylor, the kicker, just came back from hip surgery, so he may not be at full strength. And looking at a 53-yard field goal.
Yeah, I think I would. Go ahead, Frank.
What I'm saying is Miami, they've got to force him inside. Don't let them throw to the sideline so they can step out of bounds. You're willing to give up anything inside the white lines short of the end zone because the game will be over.
Well, Don Nealon has a big decision to make, and I think they're making the right decision. They come out, just throw a three-step drop. If it's not there, you throw it away, and you come back and you make the kick on fourth down. It's third down now and 4 yards to go.
Miami with only 3 defensive linemen and 6 defensive backs in the game. Bulger.
There it is.
To the sideline, and that is incomplete. Ruled incomplete. Saunders caught it, but his feet were out of bounds. Now you've got 3 seconds left.
Well, now you got to kick the field goal.
Intended for David
but that was what you had plenty of time to do that. Take a chance and go to the outside. It was just a. Oh, I don't know, Frank. I think that was inbounds.
But if the lead foot is already out of bounds, then it's incomplete.
Right.
If the lead foot, if his left foot was already out.
But that was the right play to do. I disagree with their offensive coordinator who was shouting over our heads.
As Jeff Popovich, you got to force into the inside.
That's
right. Jay Taylor with the 53-yard field goal try. Snap is down. Kick is away. It's got the distance. No. Short. Short and a little bit to the left. And the game is over. Miami has taken another one in Morgantown.
Miami's had great success coming to West Virginia playing against the Mountaineers, and they've done another great job. They've held together, great team effort, and what can you say about this Miami team? They just did a terrific job tonight.
Well, despite the fact that Mark Bulger torched them for 380 passing yards, the Hurricanes find a way to survive here in Morgantown, and they defeat the 13th ranked Mountaineers by a score of 34-31.
Frank, you can't say enough about the offense, and they came back at halftime. They did a great job adjusting to what West Virginia was doing. Even though they couldn't stop the passing attack of West Virginia, they did enough on defense, especially in this last drive, to hold them out of the end zone. And you see the kick, a long kick. It looked like it had the distance, but just hooking wide and going and falling short of the goalpost.
I don't think it had the distance. From up here, I don't think the distance was there. It fell about a yard shy, I think, of the crossbar and was wide left.
He was leaning, and he knew after it got halfway there, it was just hooking too far to the outside. A nice effort by West Virginia, but Miami finds a way to come up with the victory.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll wrap it up from Morgantown right after this on Sports Channel. Scott Covington walks off the field a winner. Welcome back to Mountaineer Field in Morgantown, West Virginia, where the Miami Hurricanes knock off the 13th ranked West Virginia Mountaineers by a score of 34-31. Frank Fort, along with John Congemi, and partner, I don't know about you, but I'm drained. I mean, I can imagine how those players for both teams feel. This was a knockdown, drag-out. We're in the hills of West Virginia, and this was an old-fashioned feud.
It was a great game, and both teams played their hearts out, and it was unfortunate that one team had to lose, but Miami found a way to make the plays in the fourth quarter to come out and win this football game.
Certainly, they came out, scored 10 in the third quarter to regain the lead. West Virginia took it back, and then Miami's winning touchdown coming with 1:40 to play on a third down and goal from the 3-yard line. Scott Covington hit Darryl Jones.
The key was motion, and Bubba Franks going up the field. 3 Mountaineer defenders went up the field in the end zone. Darryl sneaks underneath, and it's an easiest throw that Scott had to make. It was right over the middle, and you could see right there, he knew he had a chance for victory, and he made the play when he really needed to.
Much has been made this week about the Miami Hurricanes record under Butch Davis against ranked teams 3-8. Well, they beat them. They're now 4-8. They beat the 13th ranked team in the country today, the West Virginia Mountaineers, in an emotionally charged and emotionally draining game. But the Hurricanes find a way to win it 34-31 as Jay Taylor's last-second 54-yard field goal attempt falls a little bit short and a little bit wide left. Thank you for joining us here on Sports Channel, here at Mountaineer Field. You can catch more University of Miami football next Saturday, October 31st at 11:30 p.m. when the Hurricanes return home to battle the Boston College Eagles. And football fans, don't miss Sports Channel's Sunday morning playbook. It kicks off at 8:30 with Dolphins Magazine, followed by the Tom Coughlin Show at 9 and the Jimmy Johnson Show at 9:30. Then at 10 o'clock, it's an hour and a half of in-depth NFL pregame coverage on Sunday Morning NFL. That's all right here on Sports Channel. For my broadcast partner and future member of the PGA Senior Tour, John Congemi, I'm Frank Fort, saying goodbye. Once again, the final score, Miami 34, West Virginia 31. So long, everyone.